Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Untitled Sickos Project, where we're back again with another fucking podcast. Believe it or not, guys. I am Bears fan.
I wanted a peanut.
You don't get a peanut. You don't. No. That's. I'm Bears fan. That's Carsausage, alongside MaskedAura, Nickman, and 24 Amper, also known as Noah. Just get on with the fucking welcome mat before I start saying things.
Wonderful start here. Wonderful start.
Yeah, so a bit of news in the hockey world. The Vancouver Canucks have reportedly lost their minds. So that's a big thing. No, but seriously, we do have a bit of a massive trade from between the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks. So if you don't mind me reading out the details of what this trade ensues. So the Minnesota Wild, they traded and got Quinn Hughes in exchange for sending Zayev Bayam, Liam Ogren, Marco Rossi, and a first rounder in 2026. Quite personally, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this challenge. I mean, this trade. I mean, we get one of the better defensemen in the league, and basically, it means we get to dangle Brodeen or Spurgeon at the deadline to some defense needy team. And so I think it's and we also get to take advantage of some of that youth we took fostered in Iowa for a really good person. So I'm pretty all right with this. Don't let me down, Bill Guerin. What's it like on the other side?
Like you said, it's a 6th foul. Thompson.
Okay, put on the wrong mic setting, my bad. Windows up. Okay, can Windows not fucking update and stop fucking up my fucking OBS settings? Oh my god. Okay.
Do we have to repeat anything?
No, you're fine. Everybody's fine here. It's just me.
Chat, the MaskedAura, if he was written by Vivzy Pop.
Okay. Alright, starting over. Thanks, Yasko. Okay, so the trade for Quinn Hughes. Everybody in Vancouver knows he was being traded away. It was just a matter of time and when he was going to be traded away. The one thing that upsets me the most is that the Canucks ownership ideologies with Francesco Aquilini has done these half-in, half-out measures, never fully committing to a rebuild.
What's that? What's that term Jerry Jones always used? Aggressive retooling.
Aggressive retooling, yeah. And with aggressive retooling, with aggressive retooling, there needs to be progress, shown on, there's got to be a progress that's shown, no matter what. And one of the things is that the Canucks have done is in recent trades, they have done these half in, half out measures. They've never fully committed to they've never been able to fully commit to a rebuild. Which the words that I have used, the words that I have seen used around, the words that I like to think that they've been the words that again, aggressive retooling, and with the fullest context of what the Canucks have done is they have think it back to when they traded Bo Horvat and JT Miller. Those were incredibly important players, elite upside, that the Canucks got a first-round pick for. The Canucks would then use the first-round pick that they got for to aggressively retool the roster instead of using that first-round pick on a prospect. Now, I don't mind Filip Hronek, to be honest, but Aatu Räty hasn't cracked the top 6 yet. The player that they got for it, they traded him for a 5th-round pick the following year to Chicago. And then there was Pittsburgh, where I think they just got 2 players in the trade when they traded a first-round pick. They got Marcus Pettersson, and they got Drew O'Connor. I think it was Drew O'Connor. And again, a bottom 6 forward and a defenseman, and the Canucks D-core has been arguably one of the worst defensive cores in all of hockey. Yeah, and, when you traded away, again, a defensive player who I strongly believe is a top 3 defenseman in the NHL right now with his abilities. He's one of the best puck-moving. He is, if you're looking at puck-moving defensemen, it's Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes is number 2. Someone with incredibly franchise-anchoring upside, now sent away. And from what the meaning of the first-round picks, they got Marco Rossi, who... That's the part I'm really upset about. It's the prospects in the first-round pick, I'm fine with. How do you... Trading for Marco Rossi, including the package, tells me you're reloading, not rebuilding. Rebuilding says 2 to 3 firsts. If you don't get the 3rd first-round pick, you get a 2nd thrown on top of that, and then you get the prospects to come in. From what I'm reading from the Minnesota side, is that these players are having a tough time cracking Minnesota's top 6.
Yeah, I can attest to that because my big issue with Marco Rossi ever since he got drafted is that he failed to live up to his draft potential of 9th overall pick. And to be clear, this is almost entirely not his fault. This is all the fault of him contracting long COVID, and that completely jackknifing his development. And he was a good center for us. He just wasn't the center for us,
One of the things that I one of the bigger things that I'd like to add to all of this is the Canucks when it comes to trades, it feels like they've gotten like the raw end of the deal on almost everything that they have sent away and have tried to acquire for. And the biggest issue is that I look at last year was the year where they should have sent away Brock Besser, but nobody was willing to give the Canucks a first-round pick for Brock Besser. And I bet that always still was the biggest confusing thing to me, because I look at it around the NHL, where the Seattle Kraken got a second-round pick for Brandon fucking Tanev. They got 2 firsts and a second for 2 players that are going to be playing on Tampa's bottom 6. How the hell could you not trade Brock Besser for a first-round pick? And they you know, this is before they tossed a freaking Hail Mary and was able to re-sign Besser. I look at the Canucks now, and the only way this makes any sort of sense to me is if Marco Rossi is flipped, or they don't use the first round pick and they flip Sherwood and they flip Connor Garland at the deadline.
Here's my issue. Here's my beef with this. Like, why the hell would you give Brock Besser that contract if you know that Quinn Hughes is going to be gone?
I honestly, the way how I see it is, I thought the Canucks were relying on the fact that their absolute highest upside was a second round exit. It was being a playoff contending team, and they really played into that when they re-signed Besser. It meant we can compete now instead of letting him walk. That the shot to sign Besser was a Hail Mary. It was, you're a quarterback, you're just saying eat and hoping in a prayer, and they managed to re-sign him. That's the only way looking at re-signing Brock makes any sort of sense to the Canucks, which is just they really truly thought to themselves that you are a team that's going to make the playoffs, and as that's the upside because we've got a franchise defenseman in Quinn Hughes. We're going to trot out, we believe Pettersson is going to do well with Adam Foote, as they said they was going to do well with Travis Green, who was going to do well with Bruce Boudreau, who said he was going to do well with Rick Tocchet. There's a trend. Notice the noticeable trend that's there. And for the Vancouver Canucks, I look at this and I really question what they're going to do with this year's deadline, because if they do use the first round pick from Minnesota to quote unquote bolster the lineup, I will crash out. Because the one thing the Canucks definitely don't need to do is try to double and quadruple down with this current roster. You trade for players that had a tough time fitting in to a top 6 of the Minnesota Wild. Yes, they're called prospects, which means they're probably going to be sent down to Abbotsford because, you know, they're going to develop, get ice time. But we already have enough players who can't crack a top 6 for the Vancouver Canucks. And that's just what they needed. At the end of the day, if they actually do acquire 2 more first-round picks from the trade deadline by trading away at least one for trading away Kiefer Sherwood, I think Kiefer Sherwood has played enough to get a first-round pick. If that were to happen, and then they do something with Connor Garland in the offseason, they have until July 1st before his no movement clause kicks in. I like Connor Garland as a player, but Connor Garland's a player you can trade away to get a first round pick to really start embracing the rebuild. Jim Rutherford has come out and said this is the start of the Canucks rebuilding. I've been around Canucks media, and the way how they put it is to get this roster younger, and by getting this roster younger, surely you will be competitive. And if that's the way that the Canucks have to go about this, instead of embracing a true rebuild, then so be it. But the way how I see it right now, this isn't good. I'll have to see what they do at the deadline to really, I think, put a lot of ease to it. Just from reading the Canucks fan-based reactions, they are beyond fuming mad. The Minnesota Wild are doing cartwheels. If that says anything, if that should say anything, it just shows you kind of how fans view this current Canucks organization and just as a whole. And it's hard to view the Canucks anything as a serious organization, and I think this trade will turn away a lot of fans for a good bit. The final note for this one is the Canucks do not have a home game until the 27th of December. So they got they got out of this trade scot-free and won't have to worry about enduring the fan base for long, because can you imagine if there was a home game coming up here?
Can you imagine if they had done this before the game they had against the Wild?
Yeah. Not good! So, last thing, that's all I got for Vancouver. Francis Wackling, sell the team. You are not... I mean, the thing also too about Mark Rossi, he's on IR, but it sounds like he might play this. He might play the next game for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
So,
what about a neutral observer? Can we get our most neutral Nickman to weigh in on this?
Hey, you all
Sure.
forgot to ask me and my thoughts on it. That's not very fair.
Well, I mean...
Oh, it's my turn, so wait your turn, buddy.
Boo! That's it. I'm telling mom. You're gonna
Oh
get grounded from the
no!
Xbox.
Oh no! He's gonna tell.
Oh,
Oh
no.
You're gonna
Anyway.
get grounded from the Xbox, Nick. Mom's gonna ground you. Ooh, you're in
Oh
trouble.
no! Anyway, okay, so yeah, I did watch Shannon's video, and the vibe I got, which I was like, you know what, I agree with what he had to say, because I mean the thumbnail really paints a pretty picture, and his reactions early on kind of paint another pretty picture. And the pretty picture in question here is he is not happy. And he's not happy. It's not about the player return, which I've said it. I think the player return for Vancouver is fine here. The anger that Shannon has for the Canucks right now is he is having to think about how Francisco Aquilini is going to find, probably, he will go to the ends of the earth. Whatever he has to find, he will find it. And what he is finding is the way to keep the Canucks out of a rebuild. And I think the fact that Shannon's having to think about that again is why he is pretty pissed right now. I mean, obviously, trading away Quinn Hughes, which I think everyone saw it coming. Everyone knew it was going to happen at some point. It was inevitable. This trade was going to happen. And, well, it's happened now. I think the anger that Canucks fans have right now is not really towards the return, but more towards the concept, as I have been told by Luke, concept of the Canucks trying to think of a way to stay out of a rebuild. This season right now, especially considering the prospects available, there has never been a better time for the Canucks to really commit to a rebuild. And considering some of the things I've heard, some of the rumors that have gone around, if there is ever a time for the Canucks to finally change their perspective on the term rebuild, it is this season. And I feel like, if they have to be kicked dragging and screaming into it, then so be it. Granted, their roster right now is pretty kind of dead right now. Like it's a hospital right now. So I feel like in terms of rosters, the Canucks are doing a good job for themselves in terms of dragging themselves into a rebuild. But granted, there's been so much said about the Canucks here that I think I have to say some things about the Wild. Minnesota's been needing to get a player like Hughes, especially now that you can pair him with someone like Kaprizov, and I feel like there's two things I will take away here from the Wild. Number one, gotta extend Hughes. You gotta extend him, gotta get that done. But number two, this is, especially now that you got him, and with how great your goaltending has been, this has got to be the year they end that playoff drought. They gotta end that. They gotta end that curse of not winning a playoff series. Like, it has to end this year.
Totally.
Agreed. They got to
It's
do
like,
it.
It's like, yeah.
Got two franchise-altering players. Get her done.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, man. I got expectations.
What's the difference between expectations? Yeah, get her done, boys. I wish you good luck in your endeavors. Get it done. Do whatever. This is a move that's done to. I mean, if you're the fan base, you're just ecstatic from this one. I don't see how, like, everybody should be doing cartwheels. And, if they can get it, if they can end that drought, this is good. Again, huge props to Minnesota.
Might be one of the best moves we've made in franchise history, other than maybe sending Granlund off to Nashville for Kevin Fiala.
By the way,
yep.
just one more thing that I've noticed. Obviously, Canucks are in the biggest uproar right now, but if I had to say who's in the second biggest uproar, it would be the Devils, because I've seen a lot of Devils fans not too happy right now, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, sorry.
They're very much like, oh, it should have been us! It should have been fucking us! What the fuck?
Maybe you just should have just made the trade, but what sounds like they made an aggressive push, but they liked Minnesota's offer better. That's, I think, what it came down to.
Yeah.
Like, Minnesota made the biggest push in the last 24 hours, and they felt like they knew they wasn't gonna resign. Like, good lord, you could have. Everybody in the world knew he wasn't gonna resign. But again, get a if you're a Wild fan, go to a basketball hoop, make sure it's within slam dunk range, and just grab an object and just slam dunk it. Slam dunk trade for the Minnesota Wild.
What's that? Slam my penis into a car door? Okay.
Duval.
I did not say that. I did not say smack your penics into a car door. Oh, hey, Jug. What's up, Jugger?
I'm sorry I'm late. I was feeling kind of sick though, like my nose was all stuffy.
And you know what? We all have
Well, praise the Lord, it's Juggerbear.
Hello.
So, anyways, I think we got enough said about the trade. My last note is Francesco Aquilini sell the TV, and I'll be cleaning the windows real good.
Now that all the fake hockey fans have said their piece, it's time for the real hockey fan to say their piece. Now, look, man, a lot of these people here don't know. I've been actually slowly keeping up. I don't watch a lot of like YouTubers or anything, but I have been keeping up with hockey. And ironically enough, a name that I have heard just because he is on a bad team, is Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is, to say the very least, a great pickup for the Minnesota Wild, considering I believe last year it was Knights versus Wild, and
Yep.
I think my biggest takeaway from that series, if I remember correctly, the Wild just didn't seem didn't seem to have enough defense when it really matters the most. Like two of their games went into overtime, and I feel like in both of those games, if they have a Quinn Hughes, they probably end up beating the Golden Knights. Like when you look at him, like on the year so far, he's currently leading the entire league with most time on the ice. So like having a real gritty defender out there who is able to just be able to push the puck far away and be able to have not only just a really amazing solid plays on defense, but at the same time have some slight offensive upside as well. I think this is just a slam dunk. Now, I can't speak a lot of the part on, a lot of the prospects that the Canucks got, but I will say this. I saw on Twitter today that Quinn Hughes was apparently just traded for the worst player in the league in Liam Ogren, who currently has a projected WAR of 0%.
How old is he?
He is
I think he's
21 years old.
Oh yeah, he'll go straight to Abbotsford. They'll send him straight to Abbotsford.
But yeah, now I will say this. Do I think Quinn Hughes will put this team into, like, the Stanley Cup talk? I don't know. But I think for what it's worth, considering that the Wild just need to win a playoff game, win a playoff series, not even just like, win, not even just like make the Stanley Cup. I think if the Wild could just win a playoff series, that's enough to go forward to have a lot of faith in this future core. And that's the main thing that the Wild need right now, because if there's one thing that Minnesota lacks in general, that you don't even need to be like a sports fan of every single team to know, Minnesota is desperate in every single aspect of sports. So as long as they just win a series, this will be a phenomenal trade for them. It'll be their Stanley Cup, some may say, but at this point, I think if you're a Wild fan, you'll take winning a series over like a bum team. Like, imagine if the fucking Blackhawks found a way to sneak in, but like, if you somehow find a spot of playing a home game, I'm sure the Wild would be so fine going into this playoffs and just absolutely kicking the shit out of the Sharks and then immediately getting bitched on by the Ducks afterward. I think you'd be so fine with that.
Stars are apps.
Oh my god, if we were somehow able to get it so where our first series win in a decade is against the Dallas fucking Stars, I think I'd like get the walls all moldy by how hard I'd fucking cream everywhere.
Damn it.
Thanks.
Dude,
Anywho.
you know what I would so love to see? I would love to see the Wild beat the Stars in the first round in 7 games. That would be, I think, some of the greatest hockey to ever witness.
But yeah, in general, good trade for the Minnesota Wild. And also, I just wanted to say, I just dropped a little bit of hockey knowledge on some of y'all fools right now. Look, man, I'm kind of a big deal when it comes to hockey. Just out here, really just saying it how it is right now.
You know that one meme that Taegan would always use as an excuse of? It's like that one guy of. Oh, it's the thing. It's no matter how hot the girl is, you're never gonna pay her taxes. You always use the no matter how hot the girl you send my way is, I'm never watching hockey. He's getting his grip is getting weaker. His grip is getting weaker.
My thought was actually the Shaquille O'Neal reaction image where he says, "I apologize. I was not familiar with your game."
Look, man, I have to keep up with hockey here because it is incredibly boring. It's incredibly hard for me to sit here and just not talk about anything for a while. So it's more begrudgingly, I am just learning about stuff offhand. But I will say this, I want a pat on the back. I want a round of applause from everyone because I've finally spoken something really ethical and smart about hockey for once. So I'm ready to take your applause if you're willing.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
One of us.
Yes, congrats.
One of us.
One
Gobble,
of
gobble,
us.
gobble,
No,
gobble, gobble, gobble.
No, that's not an applause, but it's okay, guys. Don't. It's okay.
Shit, what's next? Me talking about Danganronpa?
No, never. We are not. No.
No, it would be Nick talking about Danganronpa.
No. It's Nick talking about literally fucking anything. Because I swear, this guy is a rage baiter outside of the voice chat. Anywho, it's now time to talk about an actual fucking sport and none of this fucking woke cocky nonsense. We're not talking about.
I think we actually have a bit of a microphone hooked up to the Indianapolis headquarters.
No, not quite there yet. We have some stuff to go over in the college football realm first.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Look, man, we're gonna take this game by game, starting out with the little witty bitty shitter teams. Guys, in their second year in the CFB, Kennesaw State is a 10-3 team and won the Conference USA. So I want us all to sit here and give a round of applause to the Kennesaw State Owls.
Yeah, woo! I'm sorry. Whenever I clap, I can't get it to pick up on the microphone.
I don't even know if it can pick up, but yeah.
How mine picked up? Anywho, congrats to them. They beat Troy, and their reward.
Troy.
Oh no, wrong team. They beat
Jacksonville State.
They beat Jacksonville State. So, as their reward, Kennesaw State gets to go up against Western Michigan in what I like to call the feel-good bowl, where no matter who wins, it really just feels like everyone gets to be happy because both of those teams have went through so much conflict this year that at some point you just gotta feel happy for them. Other than that,
did you just say Bofa?
Anywho, James Madison beat Troy, guys. They're
headed to the CFP, baby.
Spoilers! Don't you get it, man? Wisconsin. We were all rooting for Wisconsin again, and now you're just spoiling it for the audience. Now the audience knows that Wisconsin might not be.
I just watched that new Titanic movie. Guys, did you know that the boat fucking sinks? Holy shit.
Oh no. Anywho, afterwards, UNLV loses to Boise State in what I'm calling the bullshit game because god damn it should have been New Mexico getting their ass kicked. Either by UNLV or fucking Boise State. I don't care.
Listen, I wanted New Mexico in too, but Boise is a fucking death trap. That field is that stadium is a death trap, literally.
It's just blue.
Yes, and it's Idaho. It's Idaho.
They're still not the best team in they still don't have the best stadium in Idaho. Shout out to the KB Dome.
Shout out to Bronco Mendenhall for being a double agent and screwing New Mexico out of the championship game.
I thought it was a computer that screwed him out of a championship game.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing: New Mexico makes it in if Utah State beats Boise State, and Mendenhall screwed the entire fourth quarter up.
Yeah.
Lobos one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me that potato salad.
Anywho, speaking of potato salad, Drew Messmaker threw up an entire fucking potato salad against Tulane, and Tulane ends up beating North Texas. And I'm kind of sad, because I really felt like this North Texas team could do something, but hey, this core is amazing! And then you realize their coach and everyone else is probably going to be gone next year because their coach is going to a new place. God fucking damn it. God fucking damn it. This is why we hate the transfer portal sometimes.
I love the transfer portal.
It's going to be fascinating to see what Tulane and James Madison do in the playoffs. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, I do think they'll keep it close for a little while. Maybe we'll get away in the fourth quarter, but I don't see this like a Cincinnati versus Bama kind of game.
Look, hey, that's if James Madison is even in, because that's a surprise tool that'll help us later. Anywho, Tulane wins. Now, everyone, let's get into Saturday.
Okay, I got some real spoilers. Did you guys hear that a plane just hit the World Trade Center?
For the third time. For the third time.
Yeah, Mr. Bush, a third plane has.
But yeah. In other news, Western Michigan gets a feel-good win against Miami in a game where the quarterback, Miami's quarterback was, I believe, sacked 4 times.
Oh, his poor biscuits.
Yep.
It was truly it was actually a really nice tribute in a way to the late Marshawn Nealon.
Yeah, and oh boy, do we have another elephant to address in a bit too. Also, in other news, to the games that actually matter some.
Fuck you.
No, I'm talking. Look, man, the MAC. I wanted the MAC to get in, but unfortunately, I was put on a psych. I was put on psychic leave.
Yeah.
Anywho,
the woke agenda shut down the MAC. We hate to see it.
Yeah.
Fucking put the Broncos in, you fucking cowards!
I mean, I would like to see the Broncos in, but there's just one teeny problem with the MAC. In the big 277.
we could have had a Broncos versus Broncos bowl game this year. Unfortunately,
It is very funny that the MAC champion had more wins than the ACC champion. By the way, more on that later.
True.
yeah. Well, Big 12 championship happened, and Texas Tech is probably the best team in college football. Don't at me. I do not care about I do not care about Georgia. I do not care about Bama. I do not care about your bullshit SEC mind control. I don't care about Indiana, and I don't care about Idaho State. That team is built on fucking nothing but deep throws and crack cocaine, and you will respect them. Anywho,
can we just make jokes about how weird Mormons are?
No, go ahead, Noah.
Okay, can I speak? You're
yeah,
not gonna
go ahead.
All right. Unironically, it cannot be understated how huge Joey Maguire has been for the Red Raiders, because after 2008, Texas Tech just kind of completely fell off the map. And, well, for what it's worth, this is the highest ranking Texas Tech has been since that 2008 season, when they were as high as number 2 in the entire country. And this was after the year prior, where they nearly lost to an FCS team. A good FCS team, Abilene Christian, for sure, but an FCS team nonetheless. Things have just been completely changed.
Sure.
Mac Leftwich and Sheo Wood have been incredible coordinators for them. Probably the best ones they've had. Probably the best ones they've ever had, considering that they have just dominated in all facets. The only loss they had all season was when their starting quarterback got hurt.
Yeah,
That's
and Arizona. Yeah, and Sam Levitt isn't a wash for a quarterback either.
And they damn near won that game anyway, too.
True.
Yeah, but they did.
One thing that's been really good at Texas Tech, it goes to show you if you can get a bunch of boosters to inject a lot of money into your program, it just shows you what level you're just going to soar to. And I think Texas Tech, they're going to be here to stay as the big dominant power in the Big 12. Because there's a massive there's space for it that opened up when Oklahoma left, and that void is going to be filled by Texas Tech. It is going to be it's interesting to see what the Big 12 is going to look like in a couple of years. There's a lot of fun programs in there, but it's what programs are going to go that extra step to really get them into a championship spot.
I will.
It is
Take
very
this
funny
opportunity to
how every
talk.
single big. It is very funny how every single Big 12 team has taken control of this conference, except the one that was actually passed the torch to.
Go ahead, Spencer.
It is official. The Matt Campbell era is over. We have a new. Yep, he goes to the Penn State Nittany Lions, and Noah, congratulations! You got yourself a coach that can probably turn whatever is left of Penn State around.
Funny story about that. Apparently, Penn State actually reached out to Campbell very early in this process. He was actually one of the first guys they wanted to get, but they reached out to the wrong agent. And that's why they never got it back. So we go 2 months desperately looking for a head coach, only to find out that they called the wrong phone number, and they end up getting Matt Campbell in the end anyway. In other words, they were looking for 2 months looking for the right hospital to fix their wounds because they called a pizza guy.
That's good.
It's like I've seen the exact kind of story that happens like that, but it's usually for shit like lost media searches. Like we tried contacting this person to see if they had a copy, but it turns out we had the wrong fucking guy who also has that name for some reason.
It turns out this guy who we should have contacted in the first place actually had everything all along.
I think they started calling the soup company first. I think they accidentally called Campbell Soup and asked if they want a coach, and that's why they were a little confused. Like Campbell Soup was like, "You want? Are you sure you don't want Chef Boyardee to coach your team?"
They called Dan Campbell by mistake.
Oh no. They called the Anywho, soup jokes aside. I will say this: the last on the Big 12, Crumble Cookie remained supreme.
Also, I'm sorry for whatever's left of Washington State for stealing your head coach.
Yeah,
he thinks Tobias Harris is supreme.
Yeah, I think it's funny that
we trade him for a crumb. We did try to trade him for a crumble cookie after all. Yeah, funny joke, laugh.
Well, after that, guys, we have the SEC Championship, What?
I think I pretty much have only one thing to say about that, and you know what's coming.
What? It just means more. Never mind. The barking's back. Anywho, Georgia is the second best team in the nation behind Texas Tech, but that's a good thing. Anywho, Georgia kind of just kicked Alabama's ass, and I think Kirby Smart is officially off the hook for like the next 5 years.
I think it's only the second time since 2000. Sorry, I'm interrupting you a lot. I'm just excited to be involved.
Go ahead, man.
This is only the second time since 2008 since that Georgia actually beat Bama, and the other time was the 2021 national championship. Wait, was it 2021? Yeah, I think it was 2021.
Yep, 2021.
Yep. Look, man, Kirby Smart could probably. I was gonna say Kirby Smart could probably get away with cheating and still be beloved by Georgia fans, but then
we're not talking about the Big Ten.
No. I was gonna say we'll get into that a little bit later. For now, I will say this: Alabama, guys. Honestly, this is a pretty good transition. Kellen DeBoer better take that Michigan job because he's just not going to work out in Bama. I do not give a fuck what people say. He needs to leave, like, badly. Because I think they might actually kill him.
I'd give it a few more
Listen.
years. He's already said he's not taking the Michigan job.
Yeah, we'll get to the Michigan job later because there's an interesting name. But yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, yeah, there's I may have made some comments about what certain people on Discord were saying about Mr. DeBoer and what would happen afterwards. But yeah, I mean, Alabama is in an interesting situation because it's life after Nick Saban. You're moving on from, like, you know, the probably the greatest coach in college football history. You move on from that, and now you have to have someone fill in those shoes. And right now, so far, that has not exactly happened with DeBoer having to fill those shoes. But granted, I also think that right now, Alabama, I don't think is in a position right now to be firing anyone right now, which is really funny because I think if they were, I think it's very funny because if Alabama was actually in a position to fire DeBoer, Lane Kiffin would have had a lot of interest in that job. That's how I know that's the case.
That's fair, but also too, Louisiana, you get to play in a fun dome. You get to play in a fun stadium in Louisiana. You don't get to do so in Alabama. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
What do they call them? The kitty bitches or something?
They don't, dude, they don't play in a dome. They don't play at the Superdome.
Wait, I thought they played one there every year.
They do.
No,
play,
is that
I think they.
Oh, that's too late. Never mind. Okay, never
Tulane's
mind.
New Orleans, but it's
Yeah.
all good.
LSU is Baton Rouge.
Anywho, my point stands. Lane Kiffin is a bitch. The SEC is the SEC sucks. I hate everyone a part of it. I guess
He's
go
a Big
Bulldogs.
Ten fan. That's to note. He's a Big Ten fan. There's a bias. There's bias.
Let's just say the
Is this a good
Luke.
transition for the Big Ten?
Okay,
I think,
okay. Let's
honestly,
talk about the Big Ten real quick, guys. Let's go over if we wanna get into this conversation. I'm more than fine to getting into this conversation. Indiana beat Ohio State in a very close game. I just want to sit here and say this: when every single SEC team gets eliminated by a better Big Ten opponent this year, because of course, like usual, the Big Ten gets cucked because we don't score a lot of points. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be laughing in Luke's face when that happens. So hopefully he gets quiet about being, hey, it just means more.
Taegan, the SEC, none of the SEC teams are going to be in the Final Four.
If you want to, just to put something into perspective real quick, Indiana had not beaten Ohio State in any game since 1987. They had lost.
To put that
they
in perspective, the last time that happened, my parents weren't even married.
To put that into perspective, I need my glasses.
I
Carsausage
think
is
that
old.
I wanted, like, the Big Ten. I know the Big Ten's fine, but like to me, when I look at the Big Ten, the peaks are very big, but its valleys are very deep. That's my stance on the Big Ten. It's hard for me to take something serious.
Same thing with SEC. You know,
SEC,
I mean,
the bottom of the SEC isn't as deep as the Big Ten. Like that's the biggest problem. I think the Big Ten should cut some of the slack. That's
Anyway,
as it were.
Anyway, Mendoza for Heisman.
Yep, Mendoza for
Bro.
Heisman.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Diego
Gus Johnson was
Pavia.
great.
Yeah,
Diego Pavia.
Mendoza
it's gonna
for
be
Heisman.
Mendoza, and you'll like it.
Yep, Gus Johnson was absolutely right when he screamed, "Give him the Heisman."
Dude, I got caught off guard by Indiana's defense in particular. They were an offensive juggernaut, but I thought Ohio State had the best defense in all of football. I did not think that Indiana actually gave them a run was actually that. I did not know Indiana was that good. That's impressive.
I just want to say
Very
Julian Sayin kind of sucks.
Shout out to Ethan Grunkmeyer for somehow outplaying this same defense, by the way.
Also, to be fair, look who's coaching that defense on Ohio State. Fucking Matt goddamn Patricia.
Yeah, they can coach college level defenses.
Yeah, that's
kind
not
of dog shit.
one of the classic college good, pros bad. Unless you're Freddie Kitchens, he's just terrible no matter what.
That he is. He just got fired. The only thing I will say about SEC versus Big Ten, Big Ten's got the better commercials. I hope everyone can agree with that. The Big Ten's got way better commercials.
Yes, my favorite is when they show like the landscapes of all the universities.
That is the best commercial in all the sports.
That is the greatest. Absolutely. That is the greatest commercial.
It has aura.
Like, it does. I like it because it shows that everybody has a home. It shows the traditions of college football, which is just the root of it all. I will agree with that. But when it comes to
actually, one more thing I want to bring up. Do you remember last year in Michigan, in Columbus, when the game was lost by a missed chip shot field goal by Fielding? At the exact same score of 13-10, it happened again. It actually happened again.
Wait, was that the Michigan game last year?
Yep, a 27, a field goal from under 30 yards missed, and it cost Ohio State the game by the exact same kicker.
No. Oh no.
Whoop womp.
Oh no!
Anyway, they totally snubbed Iowa from the playoff.
Listen,
exactly.
Luke is saying, "Oh no," for multiple reasons. Number one, that was a horrible miss, and number two, look who's coming up next.
Guys, I made my. I think I already reached my joke limit on more already. I just want to say this, man. It's very hard to talk about this situation because on one hand, the dude fucked up so goddamn bad, and this is like damn near inexcusable in a world where it's very easy to not cheat on your wife. In the moral of the story of every single story ever in every fucking movie, do not cheat on your wife. You want to know what this guy does? He cheats on his wife, and not only that, he gets a girl pregnant.
Yeah, at first it was a very funny situation. I thought it was like Ime Udoka situation where he did the very funny stupid and got fired for it. And that's what you don't play with your thong, you play with your brain. I thought it was a simple funny story about how a guy got carried away. And then more details came in, and it went from funny to genuinely kind of scary and kind of disgusting and despicable.
Look,
yeah, we
it's
didn't
very...
even talk about the reaction he had to being caught.
Look, man,
it was like the Ratatouille chef.
Yeah, look, man, we can't really like say much about it because on the off chance that YouTube gets us for fucking age restriction, let's just say the dude was planning on hurting someone, and it wasn't the person in the room. And there were only two people. I'm not gonna make any jokes about this. I don't think you can really make jokes.
I can.
How can you just keep it? You gotta. How do you
let's not. This one's a little serious.
The lesson that I like. You're a head coach at Michigan. Like Michigan, to me, like there is no better place to be than in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as a coach, right? Like the five pillars of. Well, I think there's like six. Sorry, 6 pillars of. You want to be here as a head coach, in my mind. Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama. There's one more. But what's like a... I think it's 5. I think it's those 5 for now. Those 5 jobs. If you're a head coach at one of these schools, you will have one of the biggest recruiting budgets of all time. You have the biggest prestige of universities of all time. And when you not only get your hand caught in the cookie jar but have the situation
The
completely
nookie jar.
unwind as it did, to where you had to have been arrested, to then have the details that you were a married man with 3 daughters. It is a completely despicable and unforgiving situation that happened. And the thing that to rub the biggest salt in the wound, Michigan allegedly knew about this, and they were planning on firing him after the National Signing Day.
Yeah.
I actually just hold on. I just saw something about what happened, because Michigan, from all accounts, they knew, and so apparently back in October, a tipster had contacted the university, alleging that Sharon Moore had done this, conducted that relationship, and yeah, it was not great for a university to hear. Apparently, the university opened up an investigation, but found no evidence to confirm the tip, which afterwards, they decided to hire an outside law firm to dig further into the matter, which is how we've gotten to this point in the situation. Because all I will say is all I will say about the situation is I feel bad for his wife and kids. I feel bad for them, because this is just absolutely horrible to have to go through, and it makes it so much worse when you consider what Sharon Moore did, and the fact that he was married and had 3 kids. Just think about that.
All I will say about this too, I hope that he gets into a better mental state, and I hope that when he is in that mental state, he realizes the actions that he has done, and I hope that he... I guess I don't want to say redeem himself, but I hope that he changes as a person, and I hope that he fixes his actions.
Yeah, my thing with him is, I mean, your outside life, you're gonna have to explain everything to your kid. This is, I think, a really, as seeing as how, like, the aftermath of it all is, there have been a couple of their people who've signed that have requested to be released, as they do not want to attend the university, because the guy that recruited them is no longer there. I look at this as a whole for the Big Ten. Michigan's now going to have to find another coach, and they're now basically back to square one. Once again, we'll see what the portal looks like on top of all
May I
of
share an update on that, because a lot of interesting stuff's been happening, or a lot of interesting stuff has been reported about the Michigan coaching search. Obviously, there are rumors about Kalen DeBoer, but that's not happening. People,
Hanford as well. I'm not sure about that one either.
Yeah, but apparently the guy that Michigan is targeting right now is Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State, and it's very interesting because I saw today that apparently a good amount of Michigan players and even some of the coaching staff, or at least I believe the wide receiver coach, have started following Kenny on social media. Now, obviously, that could just be more of a tactic to, try and encourage him to go to Michigan, or it could be a sign that plans are in motion for a change to happen here. But obviously, nothing's official right now, and we still got to wait and see what happens with Kenny Dillingham and the Michigan coaching search. But all in all, it's a fucked up situation, and anyone who sees this and then goes to watch our recent CFP video on the college football playoffs, you will notice an image. Whenever Luke talks about Michigan, you will notice an image. You will notice you will notice something. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Oh, a
Yep.
little thing. Also, thank you for the tribute. Dog. Day. And we do it down. She lived 14 and a half years. I hope she finds her other dog Hope in heaven. And yeah, I'm gonna. I hate that I got that news. When I was working because that threw me off. I'm doing fine, and best dog, whatever.
Yeah. I do just want to say, because I know I kind of said that when Luke was saying, "Oh no," I was actually not like. I'm glad we got the elephant in the room out of the way, but I was gonna say, we forgot to talk about one championship game.
The best one. I thought
Drop.
we were
Yeah.
saving it for last. I thought we were intentionally saving it for last.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Anywho, guys,
Oh, shit, that means we have another video to start planning out and working on. Oh no, boy!
Everyone, on the count of 3,
Hold up. Your eardrums are about to be blasted. I'm right now we're gonna recap this game with this song in the back. This is my YouTube's most listened to song. Fuck this conference.
Anywho, guys, let's just get the elephant out of the room. Fuck the ACC. Fuck Virginia. Fuck Duke. Fuck goddamn Miami. Fuck everyone in that fuck-ass hippy-dippy conference. Fuck those goddamn fucking people in West Virginia. Fuck the Pitt people. Fuck, you want to know who deserves to be in this conference? Fucking Notre Dame. Bunch of fuck-ass frauds. I hate this goddamn conference. Duke it from fucking orbit, why don't we? Because, like, at the end of the day, it's what this conference deserves. Us putting an end to this conference would be so fitting, because this is one of the dog shittest conferences of all time. I cannot fucking stand this shit, dude. Like, are you genuinely fucking kidding me? Like, I get it. Duke was kind of a tough opponent this year, but they lost to Illinois! They lost to fucking Illinois at the beginning of the season! Illinois, of all fucking teams!
We lost to UConn.
UConn kind of had a decent season.
They were good, but still, it's funny. They lost to UConn. It's
Again,
funny.
I am very, very annoyed at the entirety of what in the fuck this team is, what in the fuck this conference is. I feel like, again, this conference is full of goddamn idiots. Full of dumbasses who just want to do nothing but fucking jerk each other off and claim themselves as Super Bowl contenders. I mean, as like CFB contenders. The fact that Miami made the fucking playoffs is a goddamn travesty, and we'll get to that in a moment. But fuck this conference, man. Fuck this goddamn shitty ass conference, dude. Again, Iowa would be in a playoff spot on this fucking if they gotta play these goddamn clowns. Everyone, I think if fucking Washington was in this conference, they would get so much fucking hype. They would get a fucking playoff game damn near every single goddamn year. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about any shitty agendas that some of these goddamn teams have. They're all fucking terrible. Nuke the goddamn conference.
Yeah, I really hate the fucking ACC because, you know how everybody has, like, a quote-unquote, like, Spotify rap and shit? This is what we're just gonna be listening to is, my #1 most listened to song because of this shit-ass conference. This is what this shit-ass conference did to my fucking playlist. At the end of the day, I think the way how I see like the ACC, like any form of conference championship game be decided, I don't get how it doesn't go conference record, then overall record. Because for Duke to be in this conference game, they went to the 5th tiebreaking procedure. How does it, like the 6th, like the last one, it's completely randomized. So why
did you just say randomized?
Yeah,
like the
6th tie-breaking procedure is randomly determined among those teams who are tied. It went to the 5th tiebreaker, and in any of these tie-breaking scenarios, it never once went to overall record, which is what I think competition should start doing. Is they should start going from conference record, then overall record. Because then it would have been Miami versus Virginia, and we're seeing less controversy here. But, for Duke, congratulations for Duke. This is an upset that I saw come a mile away. I think you saw it coming a mile away. She saw it coming a mile away. He saw it coming a mile away. They saw it coming a mile away. Non-binary saw it coming a mile away. This upset, I would have, if you would have told me that, you know what, man, you know what you should do? You should put your entire life savings and bet on Duke. Not at the spread, just to outright win. You would be walking away. I think what everybody should have done. Virginia was favored by however many fucking points was, I don't give a shit. You should bet on Duke. This shows that the ACC ended in the most perfect way possible. This is the most fitting end for this dog shit conference. This ended it the way how I really figured out it was going to end. In a way that was gonna make no fucking sense, and it was gonna piss a lot of people off. To where, in the back of my mind, a couple weeks ago, I'm thinking, you know, if Duke wins the ACC Conference Championship, we're gonna have to make a fucking ACC video that's gonna be like over 40 minutes long, and we're all gonna be involved in it in some way, shape, and form. That's what the ACC did. And to the ACC, you're really gonna have to look at change how your conference does tiebreakers. And I humbly request that the second if teams are tied, the first tie-breaking procedure is conference record. And then I think after you do that, I think you'll see a lot less people pissed off about your conference. Invite Notre Dame, don't invite Notre Dame. I couldn't give two shits on what you putrid fucks decide to do. I couldn't give a flying fuck, honestly. Just delete the conference AC. Just delete your fucking conference ACC. Just
yeah, like, ACC doesn't stand for Atlantic Coast Conference. It stands for All Clown Colleges.
No, it stands for all the Ass Clown Conference.
No, it's all clown conferences. I'm going with the all clowns.
You know, I think my biggest takeaway from college football during championship week is that these conferences need to fix how they do tiebreakers. These tiebreakers fucking suck.
I think that's what's gonna help the Notre Dame quandary. I mean, we you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna get into it. I'll transition if you don't mind.
Yeah, CFP playoffs.
If you don't mind, Mr. Taegan, if you allow me to take the little reins for a second as I steer us onto the highway and then give you the reins right back. So Notre Dame, and again, I've had a lot of clarity. More clarity has come to my mind over the past few days. So we got the CFP. Notre Dame was left out of it. And they did the bitch move, and they opted out of their bowl game. the Pop-Tart Bowl, which, I mean, in my mind, I think that is like, if I'm left out of the CFP and my consolation prize is the Pop-Tart Bowl, I'll begrudgingly accept it. I mean, I'd rather be in the CFP, but like, what the folks behind the Pop-Tart Bowl have done every single year is they've made it into one of the biggest spectacles, one of the most, like, it's like on the equivalent of, like, Super Bowl to, like, watch the halftime show. It is, they do a very, very good job. It is a very entertaining, it's very entertaining to watch every single time. It is, and there's a great football game to go alongside it. Yeah, they said no, and they threw the biggest temper tantrum in all of sports, and, you know, I've been basically waiting for the entire week to see when Notre Dame was going to make a good choice. And it is something to be said that Notre Dame has made the worst choices imaginable every single step of the way. I believe in one of the biggest phrases in life is to never bite the hand that feeds. And Notre Dame literally just gorged, full on gorged the hand that fed.
Yeah, I'm gonna. As someone who did Notre Dame, I was honestly stunned that Notre Dame missed the playoffs, and I'll honestly back them up, and I felt bad for them. That's just such a chicken shit move, man.
It is, and you're absolutely, it is. And I understand that I feel for them, but the way how I wish they really would have responded is you come up with the statement and you say, we really would like to join a conference, however, the tie-breaking procedures for the championship games do not make any sense. And I look at it in the SEC, Alabama should realistically, and again, if you did tiebreakers correctly, in my opinion, how does the tiebreakers go? Conference record, then overall record. How is overall record not the first thing to break a tiebreaker? Because it should have been Georgia versus Ole Miss or Texas A&M or Oklahoma. It should have been versus one of those schools, and then that pushes, in my opinion, Alabama out. Same thing with the SEC. The ACC. If you had done overall records, it would have been Miami versus Virginia. I'm sorry, James Madison. It would have pushed James Madison out, but it would have meant that BYU and Notre Dame are in.
The funniest thing about this is that this whole playoff drama all started because Arch Manning played arguably his best game of the season. That is so fun to me, man. The preseason number 1 team sucks for the first 3 weeks of the season. Finally remembers how to play football late. Loses anyway to knock themselves out of the playoffs, resulting in one of the most disappointing seasons in Texas history. And then takes everyone down with them.
Yeah. I agree. Like, Texas took everybody. They took Vanderbilt down with them. They took, like, Texas, because of them potentially not winning, going 12-0.
They damn near took down Texas A&M with them too. They are really fortunate Reed is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of schools need to really rethink their tie-breaking procedures for this to really make for really just get the complaining to just die down. This whole drama with Notre Dame, I've lost a lot of respect for the school. Had the school just said, you know what, we're gonna play the bowl game, and then you keep bitching about it, sure, that's fine. But the fact that again, like, the head coach is bitching, like, everybody in that department's bitching up a storm. They're blaming the ACC because they're quote, you guys should have had our back and you didn't. And
join the ACC then. Join the ACC.
Yeah, exactly. It's every statement that you're saying, Taegan, is 100% true. Right? I am 1000% on board with you every step of the way. Right? But
what's that thing you always say, Luke? A skill issue?
Yeah, it's a skill issue.
Yeah, like,
it is.
Again,
I would have rather had. Like, can you imagine if Notre Dame made it in over Miami? Miami won the head-to-head. You had the exact same record.
Actually, let's get into that.
Yeah.
Let's get into that right there. I want to get into this because
go for it.
Notre Dame deserves a shit ton of crap for basically saying, you know what, fuck this, we're out. That's some bullshit. Don't do that. But like, unless your coach leaves and you see a lot of roster turmoil, don't fucking do that. That's stupid, and it makes you look like a bunch of pussies. But I will say this, for as much shit as we give Notre Dame, there needs to be a good amount of shit thrown at the committee. Yet again. And not because of the final decision, because it is the right move to have Miami over Notre Dame. Why is it the right move? Because they fucking beat them head to head. That is the right move. Having Miami in over Notre Dame is the right move. You know what isn't the right move? Waiting until the final rankings to acknowledge, all right, we care about head-to-head matchups. Miami beat Notre Dame. They should be ahead of Notre Dame. Why did you wait until the final week, the final rankings, the rankings that decide who is ultimately in the CFP, to make that change? Because good thing you made that change, or else you may have had even more controversy. But you waited this long to make that change when you know damn well, by the standards that you try and set, because let's not kid ourselves, the College Football Playoff Committee has never been objective, and they never will be objective. And that's my biggest problem with them, is it feels like the College Football Playoff Committee doesn't even know their own rules that they want to set themselves to, and they constantly forget about that. And it felt like they were forgetting about that again with how they handled Miami and Notre Dame. Because Miami deserves to be in. They deserve to be in over Notre Dame with the head-to-head technicality. But it should not have taken you until the rankings that decide who is getting in to make that change. And on that note, the College Football Playoff Committee still finds a way to piss people off.
Truly.
Again, my thing is with everything, I get Notre Dame not making it in. Honestly, I felt like they would have made it in if they just weren't bitches the entire time during the fucking playoffs. Not playoffs, during the regular season. Like, think about it. Who's they have been the most insufferable fans I think I've seen this season, and I get that doesn't really go for everything, but like, it goes for some. And like, I think a part of the reason why they got out is the committee was like, yeah, we don't want to deal with Notre Dame and their bullshit.
I don't think it's that. I
think they went with what is the most, what is like the one move. What are the teams that we can bring in that's gonna be the least controversial? Because Alabama played in what is quote unquote the toughest conference in all of college football. If you have the runner-ups knocked out, where you have 3 other teams in, do you just have teams that say, you know what, we don't want to play in the conference championship? Because if we lose the conference championship and those 3 teams who aren't playing, they get in, right? Do you just say, no, we don't want to play? Do teams say, no, we don't need to play in the conference championship? And then I look at the Miami head-to-head, and if you look at the argument for Miami, which was, why are we playing these games if the final result doesn't matter? They went with to me the least controversial option, and that was to realize that we kind of made a mistake at some point through the season, to where we ranked where we had Notre Dame over Miami ahead way too deep in the season in our playoff rankings, where now we have to put Miami above them because we fucked up.
It's just, that's the thing that pisses me off with the committee. It feels like they forget their own rules at times. It really feels like they forget what they're supposed to do at times, and It's how you get situations like this where even when they make the right move, they make the right decision, it comes with controversy because of the faults of their own decision making. And that is what's really infuriating, about all of this and the College Football Playoff Committee and, obviously the whole Notre Dame Miami conversation, which never should have gotten to this point to begin with. But I want to share one more thing that I think about the whole Notre Dame situation, because I feel like people talking about this have not exactly touched on this point that I think is a very interesting point here. Notre Dame opted out of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and obviously that's a decision that comes down to everyone, how the players feel, how the coaches feel, how, the university feels, how the people that run the program feel. A lot of it comes down to that, but I think there's an interesting point that hasn't been brought up as much as it probably should into why Notre Dame probably just looked at this and said, you know what? Fuck this, we're out. And that is the whole rumors going on with the rumors alleging Marcus Freeman is getting interest in other jobs. He's getting interest in other coaching jobs. And I'm not talking about college football here. I'm not talking about college football because I don't think he'd leave for Michigan. I am talking about the rumors about him and the NFL. Because there has been rumors. There has been a lot of rumors surrounding Marcus Freeman, and they have been linking him to teams like the New York Giants or, the New York Giants and probably other teams if they fire their head coaches. But so far, the New York Giants have been the main target to the point where I'm going to have to check this, but I believe that as of right now, regarding the odds for who the next head coach of the New York Giants is going to be, he is very high up there. But I only bring this up because I think it does add an interesting element to the decisions that you're going to make here, because you feel like, you are fully expecting to make the CFP. You are ready to make another run, considering this is a Notre Dame team that made it to the championship game last year. They lost, but they made it to the championship game last year. I have no doubt in my mind that Notre Dame was more than ready to go and make another run, but obviously that didn't happen. And now, in the situation of Marcus Freeman, where you look at this and you see, let's see, I am going to be coaching this team in a situation where nobody's happy right now, and we feel like we got screwed over. In the back of my mind, I am also thinking about the fact that NFL teams are currently calling me. And also, point on this, because I just want to add one more element. Notre Dame has even had to talk about the fact that, we are working on financial resources to make sure that he stays here as our coach. And that's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. But I really do believe that may or may not have played a role in this. And if a change happens, if he decides to leave, I think it's going to put some new light onto this situation and decision that Notre Dame made to not play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I will say, to go back real quick, I do understand the initial frustration for Notre Dame, and if they did still accept the bowl game, I'd still probably backing them up. Now, I'm not against Miami jumping Notre Dame because of the head-to-head record. The real problem is that they kind of undid it themselves by jumping Notre Dame ahead of them by multiple spots. If it was one spot, I'd still be a bit confused, but I'd still be more accepting of it. But the moment Notre Dame jumped multiple spots ahead of Miami, it kind of felt like the head-to-head advantage got negated. So to just immediately bring it back at the very last moment just kind of feels like it negates the other 10 games, the other 11 games that those guys played. because Miami had 2 really bad losses, according to the committee, that dropped them down multiple spots, all the way down to, I believe, 17th at one point. And Notre Dame, and after Notre Dame jumped them the first time, they never got back to within a single spot again. And then at the very last week, they changed their minds and jumped Miami ahead. I get the frustration, and I honestly agree. It's just such a baffling move by the committee to just flip flop like that at the last moment. Because if this was going to be the case the whole time, then why wouldn't you even drop Miami below Notre Dame before the final week in the first place? You know?
Yeah.
This does not excuse the fact that they chickened out of the other bowl game. I do not defend that in any way, shape, or form. But as far as I'm aware, for the initial frustration, I get it.
Yeah, it's that classic line from The Big Lebowski. You're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
Pretty much.
Look, all I will say about this, if I would be a lot more forgiving of Notre Dame if they just wouldn't if they just stopped shutting the fuck up about it. Like, to an extent, I feel bad, but like, also too, you had your chance last season. Don't act like you got screwed out again. Nah, you had your chance last season to win a national championship, and turns out you didn't make it this year. It happens. If that's going to really be your detriment and downfall to your team, then you shouldn't be in the playoffs in the first place.
Yeah. Now, if there is one thing I do have another concern with besides Miami and Notre Dame, it is Alabama. Not the fact that they're in. I personally thought that they were going to be in even with the loss. But I am surprised they did not drop a single spot in the final ranking, despite getting crushed by Georgia. For context, last year, when Georgia lost a narrow game to Bama in the SEC Championship, Georgia dropped, I believe, 4 or 5 spots, all the way down to number 6 in the country, and had to play in the Orange Bowl, even though they had been undefeated and the undisputed number 1 team in the country for practically the entire season up until that point. I believe that was 2 years ago and was one of the leading factors of the 12-team playoffs.
Yep,
So why does Georgia get a severe drop, but Bama doesn't drop at all? I would have expected them to be the last team in. But
Because they think it's biased, like they always.
Well, it's a good point. It's a good point
Bias,
also, because that was the same playoff where Florida State got dropped out.
Yep.
Again, I think the voters are biased towards SEC teams. I think there's a clear and obvious bias with the CFB committee. They are biased towards teams that don't bring the good game, but rather they just get it. They don't bring the good game. They just have good offenses. Because like no one like for example, people, if you were to ask what game was probably going to be your favorite, people were probably going to say Duke versus Miami.
I was going to say the other Miami game. You know, Miami of Ohio versus Western Michigan.
True.
I
No,
don't
it's
know. I do believe there is SEC bias when it comes to the CFP. Especially when you look at conferences.
It's so strange because for the first 8 choices in the final playoff round, I really don't have any issues.
Yeah.
From Indiana all the way to Ole Miss, I believe, I don't really have an issue.
Yeah, we need less SEC bias and more MAC bias.
Yeah, nice try.
But from 9 to 12 to 13, just kind of goes off the rails. It's so weird.
Okay, I don't mind 11 and 12 because those are conference winners. They have to. What my big thing comes from the fact that legitimately, why the fuck I don't even get why Ole Miss is in. Like they lost Lane Kiffin. Yeah, 11 and 1 with no head coach. Yeah, I get their offensive coordinator took over, but they're gonna get bitched. I think they're gonna get bitch smacked by Tulane.
No, they fucking destroyed Tulane. They fucking bodied them.
Listen, I'm gonna say it again. I just wish this committee was objective. Like, find a way to be objective and do what you gotta do from there, because that is my biggest problem with this goddamn committee.
That's like asking for an honest politician.
Yeah, I will say a lot of it too is I wonder how much ESPN has their fucking hands in all this, because they paid a lot of money to be the exclusive.
Who's majorly broadcast? What conferences majorly broadcast on the ABC?
So and again they have the ACC too, a good amount of
American Conference,
and I think they have a lot of their hands in trying. And don't get me wrong, right? The Big Ten having 3 representatives, I'm in full agreement of, because no offense to the Big Ten here, there wasn't anybody that really was able to break through that glass ceiling. But to me, I think it's just to me the biggest fault of the CFP.
Then give the other spot to BYU then. At the very least.
Hold on. I'm getting to that. Let me finish. My biggest thing with this whole fucking nonsensical shit fest that's in our faces and whatnot. Why isn't the conference tiebreakers procedure go again? I'm just gonna say it once, because if it was done by overall record, it would have been Georgia versus Ole Miss or Texas A&M or Oklahoma. It would have been versus one of those schools, which then pushes Alabama out, and in comes BYU. You have your 12 CFP. You have also Notre Dame in it, because Miami versus Virginia, one of those teams is going to take the final CFP spot. If Miami loses them, it pushes them out of the top 12. In comes Virginia, out goes Miami, or if Miami wins, then Miami is in, and unfortunately to James Madison, they do not get in. They gotta figure, I think these conferences need to figure out how to get the right teams in the conference championship, because I don't think Alabama should have been in the SEC conference championship. That's why Alabama made it in, because they played in the toughest conference championship game, and we can't have them not in the CFP. So yeah, I think if conferences can figure out to make the second tiebreaker make it that makes sense, please.
Again, I get it, man. There's not a lot of top-heavy teams in the Big Ten this year. Okay, that's fine. Why is there still giving that to the fucking SEC? Yeah, they play each other a ton. Does it fucking matter? Like, are you like you could
every hypothetical match?
No, the fuck it shouldn't. Are you telling me that Old Miss should get? You're telling me that Old Miss should get in over BYU just because they went 11-1? They lost their coach. BYU still lost it.
It's your record. It doesn't
record.
matter. Like, this is look, man. I get what you're trying to say with the whole Kiffin situation and all that, but it's like, dude, I want the CFP to be more objective. They need to be objective, because I'm fucking tired of how fucking consistently inconsistent they are. I'm tired of it. This is what fucking pisses me off with that.
This might be a bit of a hot take here. Maybe it's not, but I honestly think that them not really factoring in the conference championships this year was a really stupid move in hindsight.
Again,
I don't like you got like if you're like BYU gets blown out. BYU and Bama got blown out massively, and yet both of them dropped less spots than Georgia did 2 years ago in a close game. That just seems like a very bad. That just does not seem right.
Again, and this is where I think
Bama should have been received the consequences for getting beaten up that badly in the conference championship game.
I agree.
Also, if we're seriously just gonna laugh off the MAC, just like, why even have it be an FBS conference if people are just gonna treat it as a joke anyway?
Look, my thing is too, look, man, if you don't want to do any of that, that's fine. I'm fine with them if they want to be more objective, but they have to stop being biased, dude. Because, like, clearly, Alabama shouldn't have gotten in. They should not have gotten in.
I don't think Alabama should have been in the fucking conference championship either, but it's
That's true.
because they played in the toughest conference championship, or the toughest conference, and they're the runner-ups. It goes to, you really can't, have them eliminated, because if you think of it this way, if I am in the SEC championship, I would immediately forfeit to preserve my CFP spots.
Not to, in that case, I will just say this. Why the fuck is SEC having, not SEC, why the fuck is USC having to suffer when basically fucking they are in the same situation as Alabama, but because Alabama played in the conference championship, they should get in. No, that's bullshit.
It's the tie-breaking procedures. It goes to that's why I'm saying the tie-breaking procedures need to get fixed here, because there's no way Alabama should have been in the SEC championship. It should have been Texas A&M, Ole Miss, or Oklahoma. But because of tie-breaking procedures, they don't factor in the overall record.
And the worst part about all this too, whoever fucking wins that game doesn't even fucking matter, because they're gonna get absolutely gobsmacked by Indiana. Like, that's the worst part. At least if you have like
regarding the conference records, I think I do understand a little bit of the reason why conference record comes first. Because remember,
I'm not done.
I am not done. I'm not done. The other non-con games could be tune-up games. Like, for example, say Ole Miss and Texas A&M end with the same record at, say, 10-2, but one team has I'm sorry. Oh wait, hang on. I'm starting my own words. Let me think of a better example.
Like, one team plays a cupcake and one team plays a group of 5. Like, you should be able to value the one team that played the group of 5 over the cupcake, essentially, right?
My thing with that, though, is that everybody plays a cupcake. Everybody plays an FCS. Everybody plays a G6, and everybody plays it at a conference. There are some teams that play 2 Power 4s, and there's teams that play 2 G6 schools. I understand when it comes to that. Like, I get, like, that part. But, like, it's most schools, especially SEC next year, everybody's going to be playing an FCS. Everybody's going to be playing a G6. Everybody's going to be playing a Power 4 school. They need to make the schedules...
No, because Bama chicken shit out. They chicken shit out against USC.
They're still playing FSU. They're still playing FSU. They're still playing a Power 4, they're still playing a G6, they're still playing an FCS opponent. They chicken shit out of UCF, and UCF isn't going to be as good as they are this year.
USF.
The University of South Florida. They're not going to be as good as they were this year, they're not going to be as good as they are next year as they were this year. They are a G6 team. They chickened out of a G6 team. Let's get this clear.
I disagree.
If they chickened out of Florida State, then I'd say something. They're still playing Florida State. They're still playing a G6. They're still playing an FCS school. They're still doing the same thing. And every single power level school needs to start scheduling stuff to make sense. The ACC too. They all need to be playing with some schedule unity that makes sense, because the fact that 7 and 5 schools that have like the 10th best overall record in a conference should not be playing in the conference championship game, flat out. And if you can fix that, I think you're in the steps of making the CFP kind of stay at 12 teams, because that's how it should be. And it pisses me off that these colleges are not making tiebreakers procedures simplified, because there's no way in hell that Duke should have been in there. And there's no way in hell Alabama should have been in there.
Look, at the end of the day, I think we can all just sum it up to this. The CFB committee should be punished for their crimes. Now, granted, I'm not going to say what the punishment should be. No one should say what the punishment should be. But they should be punished for their crimes. I think we're all in agreement for that.
Yep,
correct?
the Broncos got robbed.
I got a punishment. They should be forced to watch UMass football.
No, they
Yep.
should be forced to play UMass football. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, they.
I want to see their old decrepit bones get bitched on by goddamn Kent State.
I think something that needs to be said, and I think that in some podcasts I've heard this week, specifically the college football committee needs to be abolished. Because of this whole debacle that has happened, and I think the NCAA needs to. Again, they had all last year off season to decide whether or not to go to 14 teams. They stuck their thumbs up their ass. They were the weeks before the season. They didn't even know how they were going to do this year's college football playoff. They didn't make the decision at all.
You know what should happen?
Done.
Two things should happen. The coaches around the league should decide it, or I think you should have.
Do not say fans. Do not say fans. Please do not say fans.
Look, man.
No.
If you want to have what the fans want, you have to ask them. Maybe not 100% take it into consideration.
Absolutely not. If you have the fans...
Listen, man, this is how we're gonna get UMass into the playoffs.
I know, it's not about... Don't get me wrong, I don't think UMass is gonna get into the playoffs, but this is how we're gonna get Alabama every single year, Georgia every single year, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State in it every single year. Fuck no, the fans should not have a decision. The G6 will get votes, but they're not going to get enough votes to put them in a spot.
Here's how it should work.
Don't put no.
I think there should be a deciding factor in it. I think there should be a deciding factor.
No,
Luke, let me say what I have to say real quick. I was going to say, not flat out have the fans choose, but have it where it's like 80% of it is chosen by coaches, by people in the know, by people who work in college football, and then have the 20% be decided by fans. Because look how that works out in most cases. At the end of the day, the fans still feel like they get a say, and 99% of the time, if you have someone who's indifferent, they might be able to side with the fans. It should be based off what the coaches say and what fans say. Coaches should always have more say than fans, and I think that's how they should do it. Because what is wrong with that system? I would like to hear the arguments as to what would be wrong with that system.
I don't want to say in this. I want a system that's objective, like 90% of other fucking playoff formats in existence. It is so goddamn frustrating, and I'm getting pissed off now because college football has some of the stupidest fucking playoff formats in existence. It's so fucking stupid how we have had so many years to try and figure out, hey, how can we figure out which team should be in, which team shouldn't be in, and how to make a good format for picking teams that isn't just relying on a committee or relying on a computer. And after all these years, they still have not figured it out, and it is fucking infuriating. And I get angrier at it because, like, how do you fuck this up so many goddamn years in a row? How do you do this?
I agree.
The committee has like the idea of playoffs being decided by a committee. I'm sorry if this is me being too woke, but I'm sorry, but the CFP committee gives off racist vibes.
No.
Actually, here's the plan. Here's what I think. Here's what I think. You have to increase the playoff format. 12 teams is not going to fit it to make everyone happy. You know what it should be.
And then when it's at 16,
No. Here's what I think. You have all 10 conference winners. The lowest conference winning seed, aka like you still have it voted on by the committee, but either the conference team with the lowest record will be like the essential fucking jobber, and you have all 10 spots open, so winning your conference actually means something. And then the 14 are at-large bids, because most of the time it'll most likely be teams from the top 20. because you'll have a couple group of 5 schools who aren't ranked in there, and then the rest will most likely be the top 20, and that way you have the top 4 out. That's how you fix it.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm honestly on the opposite hand. All the expansion has done is just kind of backed up my original feelings on the playoffs. I just want them gone. I never liked it. Never since its inception in 2014, and especially as more and more goes on, and bowl season seems to be getting less and less recognition because the playoffs are slowly becoming more and more the only thing that matters.
Here's
That's
the
another
thing.
point.
The beast.
That's a fair
I feel
point.
like the BCS was even worse.
It was, but that's because the BCS was worse fundamentally because it relied on a computer, and that is simply a broken system.
I don't know what you can do to fix it. I mean, everybody's gonna have their own version of what's a way to fix it. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm fine with the CFP as it is. I don't want to be. I would hate to be in the committee, and I think we spent so much time on this. We're gonna have to speed run the NFL at this rate.
Nah, we have plenty
No,
of
no, no, no,
time.
no, no, no. Listen,
I will-
there is one thing that if we're going to talk about the NFL, there is one #funny thing that I want to do.
That's fine. It's fine.
So,
But I think at the end of the day, it's a wait and see approach. The fact that the college football, I feel like has no idea what it wants to fucking do, whereas every other sport in college has it figured out, but fucking football. Well, maybe I said the Frozen Four. Play a best of 7, you fucking pussies.
Anywho, let's just move on.
anyway, if you'll indulge me. Mrs. Earth, your father wanted me to give you this Bolivian marching powder in case you had a quarterback emergency like right now.
Don't even
Here you
change
go.
the voice. Just do the original voice, Duke.
I
think that'd be a lot funnier.
You need to make another quarterback division. She just, what's something that Mrs. Ursay would do? I don't think it's drugs.
No.
I honestly don't think it's drugs.
No, she wants a fruit basket. A fruit basket.
No. I think he contacts like Etsy witches or something.
The Etsy wishes are saying to
Somebody
bring
give me
back
my
those.
Ouija board.
Oh yes! Oh my god! Yes, you would so do that.
Intern, get me my Ouija board.
Give me my Ouija board. Oh my god! Yes, you would so fucking do that.
Anywho, ask your question. I will partake as the Ouija board in this thing.
Let's see. Oh, it's moving to a P.
No,
What
no.
quarterback starts with
No,
the
ask-
P?
No. You have to ask me the question,
Oh, sorry.
and I will spell it.
What quarterback should I sign? Oh, it's moving.
R.
Oh.
I.
It moves to a P.
V
What?
E
Oh, last name.
R
R.
S.
Rivers. I don't know who you speak of. Please, what's... Rivers means nothing. Continue. Oh,
C.
no,
Real
go to-
quick, I want little emergency update in the NHL realm. Braden Shen might have just significantly injured Connor Bedard on a face-off with 8/10 left in the game. In a game that is pretty much all but won, Shen just pushed Bedard to the ground on a face-off for no reason, and he might have just popped his shoulder.
I want him fucking dead. I want his head on a spike. I want him dead.
Anyway,
no.
what's that Ouija board say?
Cross-checking Bedard on.
Hold on, this is... No way, Bedard's... It's... How many seconds left in the game? No, how many seconds was left in the game?
0.8 of a second.
I want him dead.
Cross check on a face-off draw.
CHARGERS.
What does this mean? I don't know what you're trying to say, oh wise one. What do you mean? Rivers and charges.
TEN
N
CHILDREN.
DREN. Children? Oh, wise one, what is his first name?
PHILIL HP.
Philip Rivers?
Yes.
Enter! Give me his number! We need to see if Philip Rivers can play for us!
Alright.
Sorry.
Well, we'll get into the Colts when we get into the Colts. But first, we have Thursday Night Football to get to. This week for Thursday Night Football, we had Detroit versus the Cowboys in a game where Detroit just seemed to have all the momentum in the world, and the Cowboys just couldn't keep up. It's not like the Cowboys had a very bad day at the office either. They just couldn't catch up. It happens. The Cowboys are sitting at 6-1. But their playoff hopes aren't dead. They're
Goose. The offense is actually really solid. Prescott didn't play his best game, 2 interceptions, but I think a couple of those were just bad luck. His throws weren't great, either of them, but they were still catchable balls.
Yeah, Jared Goff didn't even really do much either. He was just fucking dinking and dunking all day again. So, this wasn't even like an exciting showcase. Jahmyr Gibbs is just that guy, and
Jahmyr Gibbs was actually surprisingly not that much of a factor. 12 carries for 43 yards, 3 touchdowns, yeah, but he didn't really do much in terms of driving down the field. He just kind of scored on.
I mean, I feel like the big story here of this game for Dallas is offense did what they had to do outside those turnovers. The defense outside of a front four does not exist. That is the Cowboys' defense.
But hey, next year they could be
serious
better.
concern for CeeDee Lamb.
Oh yeah, he bounced his head off, if I remember correctly.
He cleared concussion protocol, so fortunately disaster might be avoided.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it definitely felt like Dallas did have some momentum, but once CeeDee, they had some momentum in the second half, which granted, I think it was after CeeDee got hurt, but yeah, I feel like losing CeeDee, that hurt them long term in that game. It really did.
Yeah. But you know what? Dallas still isn't out of the hunt yet, and we'll get into why when we talk about Monday Night Football. But
the Floose is just they've done it again.
Yeah, but to start things off on the Sunday slate, unfortunately we have to get into the boring games to start off with, but this is a good boring game. You want to know why? Because Spencer gets to talk about his team.
Yes, we finally did something. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, baby.
Hey, Spencer. Guess how many passing touchdowns JJ McCarthy has?
9? Is it 9?
9. He has 9.
Oh my god. I told Bren this earlier this week, but it's like you notice how JJ McCarthy was on the concussion protocol and not 9.
I think he was on concussion protocol because Kevin O'Connell fucking knocked some sense into him and told him that he's getting back on concussion protocol again if he doesn't fucking get his shit together.
Yeah, and that means the Minnesota Vikings are the 5th team since the Super Bowl merger, since the merger to be shut out in 1 week, and then pitch a shutout the next. The other teams are the NFC North and the Broncos. And here's what the teams are: the 2025 Minnesota Vikings, the 1992 Denver Broncos, the 1991 Green Bay Packers, the 1979 Chicago Bears, and the 1977 Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Something interesting. All of those teams except for the Lions ended up winning a Super Bowl 5 to 6 years after that.
Well, that's a good sign at least.
Yeah, and the Lions, they just ended up winning the NFC Central, after theirs. So
yeah. But I think very good win for the Vikings. But I think there's an elephant in the room that we have to address. More so about the Commanders.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about like Brian Flores, whose defense is hung like an elephant's trunk.
True. Yeah, guys. Can we stop declaring quarterbacks the best quarterback in the draft after one season?
We can
because
wait till 4. We can wait till 4.
Yeah, we did it with CJ Stroud, and that's been off and on. They did it with granted, they did it with Mac Jones, and look how that ended up. Stop declaring quarterbacks the greatest after one season. Wait the time to say anything.
I'm sorry. I can't blame Jay Daniels for this year. He's been hurt he has been hurt.
Yeah.
He's been beaten, bruised.
You know who I blame for this year?
Welcome to the Josh Harris experience, boys. This happens to every single franchise.
Not even
ever.
Not Josh Harris.
Not even Josh Harris. You know who I blame? That motherfucker that Jax Films created. Our that son of a bitch React bot.
What have we done? We did this. Josh Harris didn't do this, Noah. We did this!
I think I'd rather make an apology video to Jaden Daniels than have to watch him play another game this season, because it's clear they should just shut him down. Just shut him down for the season.
I'm gonna go ahead and after the stream find some royalty-free ukulele music we can apologize over.
We're sorry.
Can I just say this?
We're have sex with my cat.
Can I say this real quick too? I get Jane Daniels hasn't been hurt. I mean, hasn't been a good one. I get Jane Daniels has been hurt, but even when he's been playing, he just has not been the same. Granted, this is the oldest defense in football that he's having to have go out there. So I'm not going to blame him. My bad. Go ahead.
They lost a lot of their players on week 2 in Lambeau, and they have not recovered.
Yeah, a defense that relies on Von Miller and Bobby Wagner in 2025 is not worth trusting, really.
Yeah, and my thing is, we have to stop doing that, especially considering
we have another RG3 on our hands.
I'm sure he'll probably get shut down for the rest of the season. If he plays one more game this season, Dan Quinn should be fired. I 100% believe that out of my ass. Dan Quinn should be fired. Marcus Mariota has been playing perfectly fine to where he'll be What's up? Oh no, I was just hearing something. Anywho, my final thoughts on this game is God. The Commanders might be kind of screwed if they don't draft very good soon, because this core is not working. But very good win for the Vikings. They have not been eliminated yet. They're staying alive, but
there are 3 scenarios this week where they get eliminated, and it's either with a loss of their own, a Bears win, or a Lions win.
They're on that life support right now, but they're still alive.
Yeah,
Look, man, they got a 9% chance of.
they got a 0.9% chance. You don't even get a full ass 1%. You got a 0.9.
I'm just saying 9.
Yeah. Look,
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
yeah. Up next, Luke, you're gonna talk about the Seahawks next because that was another bitch storm. I will say real quick, spoiler alert: the Falcons lost on Thursday Night Football. I'm sorry for spoiling it to everyone,
Nope,
but
they won on Sunday.
oh
Thursday
no,
Night
spoiler
Football.
alert: the Falcons won on Thursday Night Football. My bad. But go ahead, Luke.
She sells by the seashore. Okay. Yeah. Good win by the Seahawks. Again though, but like here's the thing, once they get running, nothing can stop them. I really do hope they've been, studying at a lot of lots of film as of late. That's the best I can hope for, honestly. And the way how just I see the Seahawks right now, we're just getting ready
10-3.
for the Indianapolis Colts. 1-0 every single week. Mike McDonald's has done very well. If you look at how well the Seahawks performed on the road, they've been completely lights out, allowing something insane like 15.9 points per game on the road with the defense. That defense has been as good. We're getting some Legion of Boom vibes. This is one of those wins where you're just, you want to feel like you're there, but it's going to take a little bit more time. Good win by the Seattle Seahawks. We're ready to face the Colts this week. We'll see what Phillip Rivers has got left in the tank. We're expecting Phillip Rivers to start, which, we'll see what happens this week. Got to go 1-0 every single week. On to the
Fun fact, the Darnold also got a dominant win against Atlanta last year. Take that however you will.
Anywho, now that that's out of the way, let's get to talking about Phillip Rivers, and because we have to talk about the Colts next. So before we start, we just want to preface, we hope Daniel Jones has a very good recovery, and we do hope that we see him playing on an NFL team next year. That was a very sad injury, and we're wishing the best luck for him there on that aspect. On other notes, Jacksonville utterly dominated the Colts in a game where it was automatically lost as soon as Daniel Jones went down. Jacksonville picked up a very solid win against a very good Colts defense where it just felt like the defense could not do anything. And to cap it all off as well, Jacksonville continues the streak of beating the Colts in Jacksonville. I believe it's now been 14 or 15 times now. And all I will say is, goddamn those Colts.
And all I have to say is,
Duval.
But yes, back to the funnier part, guys. It's 2020 again. Phillip Rivers is back.
gosh darn it, Phillip Rivers is back.
So I gotta ask.
Are we fluffing back or what?
I gotta ask, is this the funniest return this year?
Yeah, I mean, it was so funny that he
Yeah.
was literally sneaked into last second to the latest Gridiron Heights. We get Phillip Fluffin Rivers back to Gridiron Heights. Let's fucking go.
It's so funny because of the initial report, and it's I have to make. I think I and everyone has to make sure. Okay, this is legit. Okay, so Phillip Rivers is back. Oh, okay, this is happening.
At first, I thought it was just going to be he's just going to go in and probably talk a little bit, but then
Maybe take a practice rep or something. Just do some old time football for the sake of it, because I'm sure Phillip Rivers would love to do that. But then now we're trending towards, oh yeah, he's going to be starting for them. He's going to be starting for the Colts this Sunday.
Let's go.
dude, Phillip Rivers might, if Phillip Rivers has a good possibility of dying on the football field, and I think that is inherently funny. That Seahawks pass rush is going. If he just gets sacked once, I think Philip Rivers might just go back into retirement.
I think
I wanna see how he's
gonna
gonna
like
move.
shatter on the field.
I want to see how Phillip's gonna move.
You know,
how's he gonna move out there?
Aaron Rodgers might have company on receivers over 40 with receptions this year. He might have some company.
Yeah.
It's possible. But
oh my god, we're getting
I mean,
Philip Rivers in our Lord
see,
and
my
Savior.
funny thought with Aaron Rodgers is, even though it happened against my team, the most emblematic thing of the Aaron Rodgers Steelers is like the team doing a tush push while Rodgers just stands there.
Since we're already talking about comebacks, now that I think about it, it would not surprise me, thinking about it right now, if Aaron Donald came back for the fucking Rams. It would not surprise me at all.
He's still in shape. He's still in football shape.
I mean, how, like, when you look like him, how can you never not be in shape? Fucking, if Aaron Donald comes back, I genuinely think that the Rams are just not going to get stopped. And I think that's honestly, I think I just put another nightmare in Luke's head now that I think about it, because Sean McVay and Aaron Donald could be back again. And I don't think that's something Luke likes.
No, wait, hold on. Bring Aaron Donald, bring that little bitch back on. Greg Sable's gonna fucking pancake his ass.
And then Sam Darnold is gonna get sacked.
You say that like you don't check your bed every night for Aaron Donald under your bed.
Shut up! I hope you have a nice Christmas.
Anywho, we'll get to the Rams later because, God, that game sucked. Anywho, another game that sucked, Dolphins-Jets. Wow, guys, you're telling me that the New York Jets fucking lost? Wow. Granted, this was an unusual Jets loss because it wasn't a loss with Tyrod Taylor. You want to know who was in the game? Mizzou legend Brady Cook, and he'll be making an NFL start next week too.
I'm just talking about how sad that it is that the Dolphins are 6-7 despite playing like garbage for 5 of those 6 wins.
The AFC West is terrible.
They had that one really good win against the Bills. They have played terribly in the other 5 games, and yet they're still winning.
I mean,
it could be 500 this week.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. The worst part is it's against the Steelers, so you genuinely don't know. Steelers without TJ Watt, which, well, actually, I don't think they played in. Yeah, they played one of the close games, and I think that's all the blowouts out and out of the way. So yeah, we can get into that. So before we talk,
the Dolphins are playing in under 20-degree weather this year. I mean, today,
guys,
this week.
Have you noticed that the Dolphins are undefeated ever since Tua mentioned he wanted to play football in Jerusalem? I'm just saying. #investigate.
Benjamin Netanyahu must have given them the secret serum. That's all I'm saying.
Guys, another Dolphins team to Israel.
True. Anywho, Steelers Ravens. First things first to start off, we just need to get the elephant in the room. So, TJ Watt was hospitalized this week for a collapsed lung. And you want to know how that lung collapsed? He got Tyrod Taylored. He got dry punctured.
Ooh.
And he's going to be out probably this game. He might be out for another game too. It is very possible. It isn't looking likely he'll be out for the season, but man, I mean, but back to the Ravens and Steelers game. No one wants to talk about this game. Both these teams are desperate and sad and trending on the past.
It's just AFC North football.
They just give off divorced dad energy.
This is ACC, the conference.
It's AFC North football for you.
Both of these teams listen to fucking Creed or some shit.
Oh no, you want to know the funniest part about this game too? DeAndre Hopkins had a wide open touchdown in the end zone, but Mark Andrews was like, "No, I want the no, I want the football," and basically played DB and dropped the ball for a pass defended for DeAndre Hopkins. Long story short, both these teams aren't good. It's another playoff spot that should go towards the NFC team. But yeah,
Just a reminder the Steelers got hit with the curse wheel too.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, yeah, Miami might still be alive, and that's
Speaking
kind
of,
of terrifying.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, people down with injuries, we just want here at the Untitled Sickos Project want to give our best to Urinating Tree as he's going through his viral infection.
Yeah. Yeah, his viral infection is what he calls a very successful YouTube video. Yeah, but we hope that he does well. Moving on to other games, let's talk about Saints and Buccaneers. Spoiler alert, the Buccaneers lost on Thursday Night Football. Good win for the Saints. Good win for the Saints. Anything that I want to say about Tampa right now, I need to wait till next week to say it because I am gritting my teeth and looking over at the teleprompter saying, okay, so when does the bit end now? And the bit's not ending.
See, I think the issue right now is that Baker's jersey number is set to 6 when clearly he needs to flip his jersey around so it reads as 9.
I do feel like there's something to say, and I don't know if all of you agree with me on this, but I do think Baker's playing hurt again. I think that is
absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
he
for
absolutely is playing hurt. Like, we can have more of a conversation about Tampa on another time, but in terms of Baker, he has not been the same quarterback this season since that Monday night. He hasn't been the same quarterback since that Monday night game in Detroit because that first month and a half of the season, he was an MVP contender. And since then, he has not been good, per se. He's not been good.
I'd honestly say, in terms of these last couple of weeks, Tyler Shuck has looked like the better quarterback. And that's depressing.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, I don't know, Jim. This is looking kind of bad.
Jim.
Well, anywho, guys, the Titans beat the Cleveland Shadur Sanders 31-29. I will give Shadur a lot of shit, but he had a pretty good game. Look, he had some very bum ass throws, and he had a lot of bum ass throw. He had a couple bum ass throws, but that's what you expect out as a rookie. But he made a couple of really good touchdowns that weren't just fucking dink and dunks and checkdowns. And I will give props to him. He easily looks like the third best quarterback. I don't know anyone else who could really say it. I guess Tyler Shuck has probably looked better in the limited experience, but Shadur was fine.
Yeah, he did well. I think Shadur played well. Kevin Stefanski's getting fired after this season.
Yep.
I think he wants to be fired.
Yep. Also true.
Look, man, if I'm him, I want out of there. But I will say this, man, once David Njoku retires, Harold Fanning is just going to take that spot right away from him because, oh my god, if it wasn't for all the better weapons coming out of this draft, I would say that Harold Fanning, in my opinion, has been probably the biggest mid-rounder surprise from this entire draft. And I want to say good for him because, going out of Bowling Green, being stuck there to doing pretty well for Cleveland, shout-outs to him.
Yeah, and obviously a big shout-out to...
one of the things that I want to add for Shadur Sanders is these are for the fanboys. This is a game you want to point to anytime you throw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's something that I don't think anybody should be sugarcoating. That is absolutely impressive and something that I want to see more of. He has earned the right to start for the rest of the season. And if if he plays on the level of what Drew Lock did for the Broncos during his rookie season, the Cleveland Browns may have actually found their starting quarterback. And the sheer fact
until they get the first overall pick again.
Yeah, it'll be a generational pick until they decide they really want an adult in the room, and then they sign another rapist quarterback.
I don't. The whole Deshaun Watson situation is going to be very. I hate saying interesting because there's nothing interesting about that man, but it's going to be something to look at going forward.
No, you gotta give it the pyrocynical treatment. The Deshaun Watson situation is crazy.
No, the moist critical. Man, this Deshaun Watson situation is the most poopy butthole fart situation of all time. But yes, honestly, big ups to Cam Ward too.
I was just about to say, just like in the draft night, I feel like we're really making sure that Cam Ward is an unsung hero.
I mean, he didn't even do a fuck ton. Most of his stuff on that day were mostly checkdowns, but he made the right reads, and I don't think he had a very bad game. He was mostly efficient. I think his biggest mistake was the interception. But even then, if I remember correctly, it was mostly a 50-50 ball. But shout outs to him. Tony Pollard apparently is alive. I don't. When did you guys found out that Tony Pollard was alive? I thought he was out of the NFL.
I was at home eating cereal when phone rang. Tony alive? Yes. And you? God, I feel like a grandpa just referencing that fucking copy pasta.
But yeah, good for Cam Ward. Bad for the Titans because they don't hold the first overall pick anymore. That honor goes to the Giants, who won their bye week. Guys, the Giants won a game. They won on their bye week. Yay!
I got a phone call. Hello? Yeah. Hello, Mr. no, not Mr. Manfred. Oh goodness, I killed the joke. Never mind. I'm killing myself.
Mr. Martin.
Hey, Mr. Goodell's calling me. What?
Oh, man.
What?
They
hit the second tower?
No, they hit. Wait, they went after Jackson Dart's second brain. He has 2?
No, they went after Camp Scadford's second brain.
Oh, they went after. Hey guys, the under just hit.
Oh my God.
That's a reference to a fucking TikTok that Taegan.
The thing I was gonna say is I think facing the Commanders is easier than facing the bye week.
Ooh.
I don't know. You might lose precious draft value.
But yeah, guys, I want to talk about the next game, but I was picked off back-to-back twice. I was picked off in back-to-back sections when trying to talk about it, so let's just get into it. The Buffalo Bills, I hate this team. I hate this fucking team. I hate this fucking team so goddamn much.
They're not a serious franchise.
Why can't you just be consistent? They played like dog shit for the first half of the game, which I get. It's hard to play consistent football, but I expect that something out of the Bears, the Panthers, a team that's still learning how to win. I don't expect that out of the MVP, Josh Allen, who once again had to be carried the whole entire first half by James fucking Cook. God fucking
listen, bro.
I can't stand this team, man.
To be fair, Josh Allen, I will say this, Josh Allen was great in the second half. He played great in the second half.
He was 100%. But
honestly,
why can't this team just do this more?
Agreed. This was probably, in my opinion, overall, having gotten to watch this game because Fox was showing this game, this was probably the best game. This was the best game I feel like Allen has played since the opener against Baltimore. Like
Agreed.
this is why I say, like, I've been frustrated with Josh Allen because he's had some very bad games here and there, but it's like you see a game like this and it's like, see, there you go. There's the Josh Allen I've been expecting. Maybe that the fact that maybe the fact that he's going to be having a kid soon may have helped inspire that. But you know what? I mean, look, we need to see more of that Josh Allen. We need to see more of that because so that Bills defense was fighting for its life until those funny interceptions.
Look, I have one thing to say to the Bills defense.
I bet you better start doing your job.
It wasn't until to the Bengals defense, it was just Joe Burrow through those two. Like it is not to be underestimated when those interceptions were backbreaking into the reason why you lost the game.
Oh yeah, you can blame the Bengals defense all you want. They only gave up 32 points. Which is kind of weird to say, but like if Joe Burrow doesn't throw that pick six, they probably win.
Look, man, I'm only excited about the Bills win because it meant we got another chapter of the thrilling story of Grape Davis and Thermos Thomas.
Look, man, the funniest thing too, the Bengals had a chance to get the ball back, and you want to know what happened? Josh Allen had a 17-yard run on a 3rd and 15. Fuck this goddamn team. The Bengals are gonna find a way to win the goddamn AFC North because nothing makes sense.
By the way, speaking of the Bengals, is there something we should talk about regarding Joe Burrow?
I think we can save.
I don't think it's very funny to make fun of the depressed Nick.
I think we can save this for the offseason. We'll look more into
Hashtag Mental Health Awareness Month.
I think
look, man,
the offseason we'll have more of a clue, but I think for now we can be sad. Next.
That's fine.
He's not happy. I think that's just clear. If we can say anything, he is not happy.
Agreed.
I'm already seeing rumors from the Vikings subreddit that say, hey, we should make a trade for Joe Burrow.
You would have to give them a first-round pick to even think about taking JJ McCarthy, by the way. It's one of those additions by subtractions. Like, Zach Taylor is dumb, but I know for a fact that JJ McCarthy would only just make the trade more expensive. I'll stop hating on McCarthy because he had a good week this week, but I don't know. The joke was just kind of there.
Yeah, no, I would have made the joke too. It's also like... I just think it would work because, O'Connell is one of McVay's buddies. Zach Taylor is one of McVay's buddies. That's synergy, baby.
Well, we'll get in, like Luke said, we'll get into that. I think it's the Cardinals, but the Vikings are definitely a place too. Well, guys, time to get into the 3 o'clock slate of games. There are only 3 this week, and we'll start off with the boring one. Guys, Sean McVay pulled out the belt again. Can he stop pulling out the belt on teams that don't deserve it? Jacoby Brissett look, man, he just wants to make some money and throw some touchdowns, man. He didn't deserve this. Jonathan Gannon does because he's a fucking hack, but Jacoby Brissett doesn't deserve this, man.
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest, I think Jonathan Gannon looks too much like that one dude from Impractical Jokers for his own good.
He looks like Murr from Impractical Joker. God fucking damn it.
Rams scare me still. The Cardinals, your season's over. Your season's almost over, buddy. Just shut up now. You should just quiet and whimper. You're gonna trade. Kyler Murray's just not gonna be on your team next year.
I bet you better start doing your job.
Oh fuck, my bad. I didn't mean to press that.
Kyler
My
Murray's
bad.
Just enjoying the worst Call of Duty known to man, and a Call of Duty that, by the way, may I add, was X Cox the big reveal was we're getting a new cannon. Yeah, I'm still pissed about that reveal, by the way. I'm an Elvis Gold fan. I'm fucking coping about that. Still to this day, good thing that game fucking sucked dick, you soulless cocksuckers. And Kyler Murray's playing the worst COD on the planet. Just enjoy it, and next.
Well, speaking of next, let's talk about, let's talk about Broncos Raiders. Yeah, hey guys, the Raiders are a crapshoot.
I hate
don't
the
even-
Broncos.
I don't even have much to say, legitimately. Like, this was a game that happened. The Broncos did what they had to do. Bo Nix was fine. Played a game that a game manager would play. Defense did their job. It was 24-17, but it was not as close as the score said.
But Nick, they kicked the field goal at the very end of the game, and a lot of gamblers got really mad. Don't you feel bad for the gamblers?
I'm aware that Dave Portnoy told Pete Carroll to kill himself, but overall, this was a game that happened. The expected result happened. The only interesting thing to say is that Kenny Pickett's going to be starting this week against the Eagles in Philly.
Oh, revenge game! I can't wait for Kenny Pickett to beat Philadelphia next week, and I 100% believe that's going to happen, by the way. I'm not joking.
We'll see. We'll see.
Look, man, after once we get into the Monday night game, heavy disagree on Philly being able to beat anyone.
The Raiders are a team. With all due respect, if you can only get 3 sacks against the Chargers O-line, you are not doing something right. So it is two dumbasses fighting each other. And you know what? I'm gonna get to watch that game. So you know what? I guess the real winner here is me, because I get to watch two dumb fucks fight each other for my entertainment.
What's that? Yeah, it's like one homeless man calling another broke.
Yeah.
Man, okay, well.
But yeah, fuck the Broncos. Bo Nix more like Bo Ring, and Sean Payton, go fuck yourself, as is tradition.
I don't want to talk about the next. I'm over it. Actually, I can speak on the game. You know what? I'm gonna start off by saying this: if anyone thinks that the Bears are still frauds after the game against the Packers, take your fucking nostalgia goggles and your hate glasses off. This team's legit at the very least. This team can play up to good teams. Now, are they consistent? No. Are they amazing? No. But they're at least playing at a level that we haven't seen before. And you have to give this team credit.
Here's my my experience with this game. Somebody on the NFC North meme war subreddit, who was a Bears fan, said, if the Packers win, I will fuck a piece of cheese. He delivered. That sick bastard stuck his dick into a can of brie cheese.
Oh, gross.
You know what? I think I would rather rewatch that Caleb interception than see that in my head.
Again, I talked about this in Power Rankings. I don't even think the interception is that bad. I'm fine with my quarterback being confident in taking that throw. I think, if anything, that's what we wanted as Bears fans to start the season. Now,
I have no issue. I have no issue with him throwing that. I have no issue with him throwing that. I just wish he put a little more into it. If he just put just a little more into it, I think we have a touchdown.
Agreed.
Either throw it a little more or throw it 2 more.
I mean, no, someone made a lot of sense. That's a fucking impossible throw to make to DJ Moore on that play. Like, from the angle that he would have to throw it, he would basically just be throwing a more riskier ball to the defender. So I think Caleb made the right read there in picking Kmet. It worked last week. It's just Caleb has to throw it a little bit better. And honestly, my favorite part about this game was afterwards. You want to know what Ben Johnson said? He said if he got the touchdown, he went for 2. You want to know how much that makes me happy? How much I wanted a coach for the longest time to be fuck it balls deep aggressive and fucking go bitch ass on them. I've waited for this shit for years.
Oh
Dude.
no, Noah left.
Yeah, it's fine. He's probably just busy. But but
No,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
because I
yeah,
was gonna use that
I'm very
transition.
glad about I am glad that that would have been what we would have done because it's the right mentality to have in that situation, especially with how little time was on the clock because it was like 27 seconds left on that last play, and like, granted, I feel like the Bears were doing everything right on that last drive until Kyle Monangai got tackled on that 3rd and 1, which amazing tackle. That is a game-saving tackle right there. That's an incredible
I
tackle
still
to force that
I
4th
still think
down.
he got the first down. It was super close for me, but I do get the decision behind it because from the angles that they did show, like, you could make a case anyway, and they have to go with the call on the field. I don't mind that. They probably would have
Yeah.
still done the same thing anyway, but
I mean, I think the thing is, like, Kyle Monangai will get that 1 yard 9 times out of 10. It's just the one time it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, you gotta do that 4th down, and even though it didn't work, it was unfortunate. But at the same time, it's like, after that game, I was like, it's stunned to lose that game. It sucks to lose to Green Bay whenever that happens. But, like, honestly, I feel like in terms of, like, performance-wise, despite how rough that first half was, they really showed up in the second half, and that's
Yeah.
all I could have asked for,
yeah.
especially in a
From
game where you're
from
also without your top weapon in Roma Dusne.
yeah, from an outside observer, you guys haven't really had a bad game since the Lions won in week 2, and I
Some
just
people
want
would say
that to
that
be
the
a
Ravens game was kind of bad, but again, I think context is required in that situation. Well, I still think John Harbaugh still kind of had stuff going in that game, so that's just me
Yeah,
personally. But go on.
But yeah, anyway, if you guys are done talking about this current Bears head coach, I believe it's time to transition to a team with a former Bears head coach.
I still had one or two more things to
Oh,
say. Sorry.
okay.
I
I thought
just
I thought I was really cooking with that.
no. You were just. I had like one or two more things to say.
Yeah, go for it.
Last thing I will say about the one or last two things I will say about this Bears team. Real quick. God, Kyle Monangai's so nice. When he fucking bitched Edgerrin Cooper and chipped his helmet, I have never felt more cathartic in my life. I've wanted a Bears player to do that to these fucks for a long time. And man, it felt so good. I saw that happen and I was ecstatic. And last but not least, stop calling the Bears frauds. They're more legit than the fucking Eagles, and they're definitely more
Agreed.
legit than anyone in the fucking NFC
Absolutely.
South.
And one more thing for me, this is just me shouting out a particular thing on TikTok. Chicago Squares. I love Chicago Squares. They just take their opponent for the week and then they transform it into a tavern style pizza, which
Yeah.
is objectively the correct kind of pizza. And hey, Noah, you're back.
Yeah, I went AFK. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're back just in
good.
time. Do you have anything to say about the Bears, real quick?
Well, honestly, in a previous age, they probably would have been manhandled by the Packers pretty badly. They actually put up a fight, just didn't really pull it off in the end.
Well,
It happens.
no,
I do think they have a better shot in Soldier Field than they do in Lambeau.
Can't wait for the rematch. That's all we'll say about the Bears. No comment. Can't wait for the rematch.
Well,
The war, not the
there's
battle.
something about
I had to do something.
You're good. Anywho, Spencer, you're saying something about a former Bears head coach. Are you meaning Mark Trestman, or are you meaning someone else?
Matt Nagy.
Noah, wait, would you care to lead us off for Texans Chiefs?
First of all, and this is for the Texans, this is the most Texans game to happen all season long. Barely any offense, incredible defense. The only difference between this stretch of the season and now is that Houston is barely doing enough offensive stuff to actually improve, to actually be better now. But yeah, sure was a game, all right. Negative yards in the third quarter, and they still won anyway. On the other side, though, Patrick Mahomes played the worst game of his entire career, and it wasn't even really close. Terrible passes, throws behind him, arm punts. Couldn't really move around. This is a completely different Chiefs team than from past years. In a different age, they would have been bailed out by high-end talent. They can't do that anymore. Their mistakes are too great. This is not a good team, and I don't think they're making the playoffs. They might be screwed.
Are you happy that, I mean, how do you feel beating the Chiefs? Like, does it feel cathartic at all, or do you just feel kind of like they're just a dog shit team, and like, does it really even matter? We took care of business.
The Chiefs dynasty started with 24-0. It's still the worst loss I have ever experienced as a sports fan. All these years later, Phillies, Sixers, Lions, Flyers. The Chiefs, the 24-0 was the worst one, and we were directly responsible for kickstarting the Mahomes dynasty that everyone is envious of, that everyone hates, that everyone glazes over, and by everyone I mean Chris. And I mean by that I mean Collinsworth. So yeah, it all started when Houston screwed themselves out of their own window with 24-0, and in the process of starting the Chiefs dynasty, they killed their own window and fell all the way back to the basement of the league, which they hadn't been since 2013. They nearly screwed up that with the Hail Mary. They got really lucky to land Stroud, and they were really fortunate to have the rookie season he did. But yeah, after all the heartbreak, they thought of potentially being the team to end the Chiefs dynasty. Is very cathartic in the end. Though, do I think that is? No. In the end, I think this is just one bad year, and the Chiefs will probably be back to form next year or maybe the year after that. But for this year, potentially being the team that realistically puts in the Chiefs' dagger after 6 years of being heartbroken by this team again and again and again, it means something.
That's good.
I think the moment this game was over was when Jalen Petrie decked Rice the way he did. The shorter hit that completely knocked the ball loose in the fourth quarter. Once that hit happened, it was over. The Chiefs did not do anything from there on out. 2 turnovers on downs, 2 drop passes by Kelsey in a row, 1 leading to a pick, a go-ahead touchdown that ended up proving to dagger late in the fourth quarter, and then the field goal that ended up putting the game away for good. It all started when Petrie. It all started when Petrie drove into Rice like it was a car crash.
Ooh, little bit of venom, like it.
I did not mean it in that context. I just mean it as I mean it as a metaphor.
No. I get you. Still, I will say this.
It was like a Jesse Tuggle kind of hit.
Yeah. My thing that I will say about the Chiefs, thank God they're dead. No one, I think after a while of being in the basement, I think people will be fine liking the Chiefs again soon, because no one wants to like them right now. Like, again, I think the best part about a dynasty that some people can do is just a dynasty just needs to, like, sometimes as a dynasty, you just got to realize that you need to be hated in order to be loved again. I mean, you need to be worse before you can be loved again. And obviously as a dynasty, you don't want that. But I remember like when it was so nice to root for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I remember that. That was such a fun time.
Honestly, I completely whiffed on how good Mahomes would be. I legitimately thought they were going to go 5-11 because I didn't trust Mahomes as a starting quarterback.
I mean, that's just more because Andy Reid at the time just wasn't shown to develop a quarterback.
Yeah, I legitimately thought he was an Alex Smith merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I think this might be the end of what could be considered either the first or just the entire end of the Chiefs dynasty. I think there's a good chance this dynasty can come back. With Patrick Mahomes behind center, there's still a lot of time. But for now,
take a step back to take an even greater step forward. I think this is the year that they needed to do it. They missed the playoffs. I think the organization has a really, really long look at itself to where they need to make changes to get back to that level they were at, because I hope the Chiefs don't end up being fat and happy, because if you're fat and happy, that's it. You will never reach the crux of this dynasty ever again. It's really what this organization wants to believe. If they're fat and happy with their one dynasty, so be it.
It's just I think. Oh, go ahead.
Now you go first. You go first. Sorry,
Okay,
I'm trying to.
It felt good. I'm more just curious in terms of like what the Chiefs will do going forward, because it does feel like they're in an interesting place right now where it's like I think I've said this before and I'll say it again. The three big things that have killed the Chiefs this season has been not having a run game, being undisciplined, and their defense hasn't been able to make a stop when needed. So, not being able to make a stop when you're needed, not having a run game, and, just being undisciplined, it's really hurt the Chiefs this year. And I'm more just curious about what are the changes they're going to make going forward, because it really feels like watching this team. I'm convinced that if they won the Super Bowl last year, I'm convinced Kelsey and Reed may have retired. Kelsey definitely would have retired. Reed may have, but like they just look checked out right now.
Yeah,
they really look.
I think Kelsey's gone after this season. I think everything bar none, he's gone. There's no way.
Go be with Taylor Swift. Go enjoy the rest of your life.
Yeah, speaking of Taylor Swift, God, what an awful fucking album. Am I right? Just like,
yeah.
Don't say that around my wife. She will find where you live and will murder you.
Oh, she's a showgirly?
She's a Swiftie.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between a Swiftie and a showgirly. To be,
she does. She really likes Life of a Show.
What did you have to say, Noah?
All right. So this is regarding the broadcast of the game. People hate the Chiefs for many different reasons, because maybe it's because they're too good, maybe because of the ref ball, maybe because of the Swift exposure. But you know what? You want to know the main reason why I really want the Chiefs to lose sometimes? To shut Collinsworth up, because
please, honestly, Collinsworth, even when Mahomes isn't involved, he is still like the absolute worst. Like no Mahomes, just because you got rid of Mahomes, that does not shut Collinsworth the hell up.
He'll just talk about Allen next.
No, it doesn't even have to be about a football player. He'll just talk about himself endlessly. That's the kind of guy he is.
I can't wait for Spencer's video of weird things that Chris, what I don't give a shit.
Chris Collinsworth
has said. I look forward to that video, Spencer. I really do, because it's a bunch of fucked up shit he said.
In this game in particular,
he makes $12.5 million a year saying it too, which, as somebody who is still in the job market, it really pisses me off that underqualified boob is making as much as he is, and meanwhile I'm scrounging for barely anything, feeling like shit, asking for $25 an hour on the job market. Holy shit!
What were you gonna say, Noah?
I feel like this game in particular, this is one of the worst games Collinsworth has ever called. At least the worst one since, I want to say, the Jacksonville Chiefs game in the divisional a few years ago.
he was just constantly talking about how Mahomes was the greatest thing on this planet, how the Chiefs were never out of it with him since he was in there, and how nobody could do anything like him, and how he just straight up told Stroud to take a sack when he made that pass in the fourth quarter on third down when he was running for his life. Now, I am not going to disagree that Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league right now, but my God, we get the point.
Shut up, Collinsworth.
He seems
Yeah,
so
my mom and I, we literally have a thing where it's like, pretty much everything he says, we follow it up with fucking both of us in unison. Shut up, Chris.
This was one of the worst games he's ever called. I hated it so much.
Yeah, it is worth saying though. Thankfully, this is not about Collinsworth saying shit about Mahomes, but I feel like this tweet just sums up how I view the Chris Collinsworth experience. Chris Collinsworth, the whole Santa thing never did it for me. Laying a stranger in my house, I don't even let my wife in the house. She sleeps in the driveway.
My God, shut up, Chris.
Rico,
like I
Brown's
said,
pass is incomplete. Third down.
like I said, even without Mahomes, Collinsworth is insufferable.
Yeah, honestly, we love Ren here, but I don't get why he gives Chris Collinsworth the pass. I do not get why he doesn't mind him.
There's a reason that when we were talking about which announcers go to the cookout, there's a reason I gave him put Collinsworth in the Kendrick Lamar, not like us tier.
But yeah, I will say this. My last thing I want to say about the Chiefs. I think this is the end of this dynasty. I think this is the end of their current one. I think they can obviously start a new one with a couple of good drafts, because as long as Patrick Mahomes is still your quarterback, that's a one-way ticket to a dynasty. But we're going to have to see how this team rolls, because I mean, look at Brady for a good bit. When Brady won his first 3, it took him 7-8 years to win his next 3.
It took him a decade.
Yeah,
it took him literally a decade.
He did make it to the Super Bowl twice, but he didn't win it. And
he ran into the dirt.
Lost the Giants.
We're still really good. It's just finally Peyton Manning was able to finally beat him. For right now, we'll see.
I think here's my predictions. I think Spags and Kelsey are gone after the season. I think Reed is gone after 5. I think Reed is gone after next year.
I don't know. I'm gonna say for this year, you call it a mulligan. Travis Kelsey is gone at the end of the year, and then the rest of it, we'll see how it goes next year.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, because it's worth noting, Andy Reid is going to be 68 next year, and Steve Spagnuolo is going to be 66.
Yeah, I think Spags is going to retire.
By the way, guys, guess what the Chiefs' record is right now?
6-7.
I will end this stream if you keep going with this bit. Next.
Okay, let's talk about the greatest. No. Let's talk about the greatest football player to ever live, James P. Sullivan.
When you started with the J name, I swear to God, if you said Jalen Hurts, I was going to scream so many obscenities.
Honestly,
starting this off. I'm going to start off with
Jalen Hurts is a Mike Wazowski merchant. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say this right fucking now. Jalen Hurts is one of the most fucking overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm tired of this guy being put in, even in top 10 talk. You cannot sit here and convince me that this guy is supposedly one of the best quarterbacks we have among them. I know Noah said at the start of the season that a lot of people give Jalen Hurts unfair criticism, and I do agree to an extent. Now, you want to know what I wanted him to do? I wanted him to combat that. I wanted him to go after that. But you want to know what he has shown me this season? He has shown me inefficient quarterback play. He has shown me that he has been completely fucking terrible without any resemblance of a run game. When the offensive line isn't fully healthy, he cannot stay in the pocket and throw a pass to save his life. And not to mention, too, the one thing that he has above most other game managers where his running ability, he hasn't done dick all with his running ability over the last couple of games. Yeah, he scrambled out of the pocket a couple times, but you want to know something? This most recent game, 8 yards. Last game, 31. Other game, 33. Other game, 31. Other game, 27. He hasn't been fucking efficient scrambling at all. He's forgot how to play fucking football and has just been content being turned into a pocket passer. And he's dog shit at pocket passing. And you want to know the one thing that I will just say to Jalen Hurts that 100% describes his entire season up to this point. Jalen Hurts, in a 4-wide set, looks to throw the ball. The ball, a defender makes a good play. It happens. Ball is then fumbled by defender. Jalen Hurts picks it up. He runs or tries to do something. He gets bitched down to the ground, and then immediately the ball is recovered for Jalen Hurts to do something that has never been done in NFL history. Turn the ball over twice on the same goddamn play. I do not want to hear this guy being better than anyone. Jackson Dart is a better quarterback this season than Jalen Hurts. Jackson Dart, a rookie out of Ole Miss on the Giants.
You know how bad it was? After the game, I literally saw people editing Jalen Hurts into that one J.J. McCarthy picture.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. I think there's a real thing where once quarterbacks lose their once dual threat quarterbacks lose their ability to be a dual threat and they go back to being a pocket passer, it never transitions well at all, period. Look at Russell Wilson. I mean, the raw skill is there, sure, but what makes dual threat quarterback so good is the ability to continuously be a dual threat quarterback. And when you take him away from that system that makes him so successful, when they can throw the ball when they want to and run with the ball when they want to, once you contain a dual threat quarterback, their flaws are exposed very quickly, and Jalen Hurts needs to either adjust or it's going to be it wouldn't surprise if the Eagles move off of him very soon. Well, not very soon, in the future.
And again, Kevin Patullo is a fucking hack. I 100% agree to that. Yeah. But is Kevin Patullo turning the ball over 5 times in one game? Is it Kevin Patullo's fault that Jalen Hurts threw those interceptions? I would like to know.
Yeah, here's my thing about here's my thing about Kevin Patullo. It's really bad when your game plan is literally a TikTok sound. Fucking Saquon up the middle, AJ Brown deep ball.
That is a very bad sign.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that kind of been overlooked. Saquon has been a non-entity for the Eagles in recent weeks.
Not even weeks, the whole season.
Last year, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and Jalen Hurts was good, it all started with Saquon Barkley. Saquon opened up the entire playbook for the Eagles, and the Kellen Moore knew that, and that's how Jalen Hurts was able to be as solid as he was. He's like another version of Ryan Tannehill with the Titans, in my opinion. He's very good when the playbook is open, but when he actually has to generate the offense on his own, that's where the flaws come in. He definitely reminds me of the Titans back in the day.
I feel like this game perfectly encapsulated the Philadelphia Eagles this season, where the offense is doing nothing, whether it's the fault of Patullo, the fault of Hurts, the fault of whoever you want to name, and all while this is happening, the Eagles defense is doing everything they can to try and save the day for the Eagles. And in the end, it doesn't happen because the Eagles offense turned the ball over 5 fucking times.
But hey,
All
guys.
5 of them being Jalen Hurts. But obviously, the point in question here is the Eagles right now. This Eagles team is the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles with a Vic Fangio defense. That's what this Eagles team is.
If the Eagles end up losing to the Raiders next week, then this would be the 2018 Steelers all over again, without the incessant drama. Because that Week 13 loss against the Raiders for the Steelers back then, that was the day the franchise died.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you want to know something? If Nick Sirianni loses to the Raiders next week, he should be fired. I do not care that you won a fucking Super Bowl. We need to stop this bullshit narrative. Just because you won a Super Bowl means that you should get a job. You want to know something? Nick Foles won a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback. He should never be a starter in the league. But you want to know what happened? He went to be a starter in Jacksonville, and look how that went.
Well, to be fair,
Spoiler
he
alert,
was hurt. He was
Yeah,
hurt.
to be fair, he got injured, and it did lead the way to Gardner Minshew mania.
And
No, I get that, but like
in Chicago, he did have a couple of good moments in Chicago.
Yeah, but like the issue is, my point is, just because you win a Super Bowl does not immediately make you good. Like Jimmy Garoppolo has more Super Bowls than like 99.9% of the NFL. He's never going to get echoed about as one of the top quarterbacks in the game ever.
Well,
He
because
should.
we've seen him play. I think you're making the.
Well, I think the thing. Let me just say this because I know the point you're trying to make, and let's just cut to the chase. I feel like Nick Sirianni, the way I'm gonna sum this up, in terms of winning that Super Bowl, does he deserve credit for winning the Super Bowl last year? Absolutely. He was a part of that. He deserves credit for that. You win the Super Bowl, it should be cherished. And I feel like people who try and degrade that are fucking idiots who hate this. I feel like certain people who say that stuff hate sports
hate the
and probably
Eagles.
hate themselves. They hate themselves. Let's not lie to ourselves. But the point in question here, the point that I want to make about this current topic is that it really feels like I don't think it says anything about Sirianni about winning that Super Bowl. I don't think that's the point to be made here. I think the point to be made here is if Sirianni experiences his downfall, whether that be this week, which I don't think is going to happen, or later in the season, which is probably more likely to happen. If he experiences a downfall like we saw in 2023, I don't think it's because he won a Super Bowl and that's all that stuff. That's not the point here. The point here, and I don't think winning the Super Bowl takes away from anything, but the point is he's a fucking hack. He is a hack, and when he gets into full hack mode, whether it be having to see a locker room really start to show some tension, it's going to expose those flaws. Now, granted, not every coach that wins a Super Bowl is a great coach by any means. Some aren't that good at times, but at the same time, I do feel like in terms of the Nick Sirianni discourse, I think the bigger discourse here is he's just an asshole, and when an asshole feels threatened, they become more of an asshole.
So in other words, this kind of becomes a Doug Peterson situation. Because remember, because Doug Peterson never was really able to do anything after that first Super Bowl. He actually only got worse and worse until the locker room completely gave up on him, and he got fired within 3 years after the win.
I think to understand what the context of that, though, is a lot of the former players that when they spoke about after they won the Super Bowl, kind of just the attitude of the entire team shifted. It was the we don't have to really practice that hard. The fundamentals and the way we play football, doesn't have to be the same because we already got our Super Bowl, and it feels like the whole attitude of the team changed. I'm gonna wait and see what happens with Nick Sirianni. More importantly, because I can just sometimes you can write things off as mulligans, but you can only do that for so long here. This Eagles team is once again very flawed, and when douchebags are going to be acting like fucking douchebags, this is how how Nick Sirianni acts is how a fucking douchebag acts. And
I mean, on the point you made though about not feeling as motivated. It was definitely true for that Eagles team, but I don't so far, and this could always change, we could find out some stuff about how Eagles players feel, but right now, I don't think it's lack of motivation right now in terms of what's hurting them, because honestly, if they were not as motivated as they were, like, 2018 and beyond, I don't think you'd be seeing as much anger as you would be seeing from, like, the players towards Kevin Patullo or
You know
Patullo,
what, Nick? You're right. You know what I think they lack? They lack positivity. You know what they lack? They lack positivity.
They took down that fucking
They need somebody to come in and do the squim dance. Yeah, they need Squim to come in and do the Squim dance.
They lack positivity, Nick. Like they should add something positive into that locker room.
Yeah, they should.
Get down tonight.
I mean, they should. They actually should, because it's gone right now. The positivity's gone.
You want to know why I think this team's fucking terrible?
Rabbit, and then immediately give up on said positivity, Rabbit. That is fucking pathetic, dude.
This is a fake organization, and you want to know why I think Nick Sirianni is a fucking hack and should be fired? It's shit like that. I don't give a fuck if you win the Super Bowl. Obviously, yeah, you deserve some grace for doing it. Bill O'Brien won a couple of Super Bowls on the fucking Patriots. So let's be real here.
He did. Matt Patricia,
Josh McDaniels won some Super Bowls on the fucking Patriots, and he's a fucking hack when it comes to head coaching.
Yeah, another name to point out would be Matt Patricia won 2 rings with the Patriots.
Exactly! The fact of the matter is, I do not care that you won a Super Bowl. Kickers win Super Bowls too, man, and that's not the default kickers because they are super important. It is mostly to default the fact we have dumbasses who say, "Oh, but they won a Super Bowl." When Doug Peterson won his first Super Bowl, I will say this. The reason why he stayed so long was because it was their first. The Eagles didn't know how to win Super Bowls by that time. It happens. Stuff like that happens. That's why Doug Peterson stayed longer than he should have. Doug Peterson isn't that great of a coach, but yet he won a Super Bowl. And, that's good for him. He did what he needed to do that year. But just because you win a Super Bowl does not mean you're good. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. Because that's like saying it's just asinine because people have so many definitions of good. Yep. Just because you win the dance once does not make you great.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco
but
look, man, Joe Flacco
isn't good. He's elite.
Yeah. Here's the thing. But in the jokes aside, Joe Flacco, he's a good quarterback. I mean, he's a fine quarterback. I wouldn't say that
he had literally the best postseason run you could ever have from a quarterback.
Agreed. What is he going to be one of the greatest of all time? No. Now, granted, I'm not saying you have to be a greatest of all time to be good, but no one's going to remember Joe Flacco as one of the best. He won a Super Bowl, and that's fine enough. And I think a lot of people forget that. Yeah, sometimes you can just be a one-time wonder and you hit your shot at the right time. Most championships are won that way. My entire point of this conversation is, and I'm not saying that to Joe Flacco specifically. Joe Flacco had good years outside of that. My point is, one-year wonders can just happen. Look at Jeremy Lin. Look at Travis Fulghami. For 3 games of the year, he was one of the best wide receivers. For 3 games, back to back, he was one of the best wide receivers in football.
I wouldn't even say Jalen Hurts is a one-year wonder. In 2022, he was great. In 2023, he was bad. In 2024, he was great, and now in 2025, he's bad. He is.
So he's an odd year. He's an even year merchant.
I'd say he's more of a system quarterback than anything. He needs a good system to work.
I can agree to that. I can be fine with that, but in that case, we have to start talking about how Jalen Hurts just he's not one of the guys.
That being said, is it okay if I talk about the other team on the field that night?
What do you mean? What do you mean? You have to describe them in an adjective, real quick, in order for me to know.
All
who
I
you're
know is
talking
that
about.
we're diving into another former Bears head coach, Mr.
Oh.
Mark Trestman.
Look, yeah. One thing I will say this before I interrupt you. Fucking Justin Herbert almost died. Like, he might actually die because this is rough, man. He's getting murdered out there. We gotta help him.
Yeah, I no longer am calling him the what if man because I think he's finally showing what if. He's finally showing a little bit of grit and tenacity, which is basically all I've been asking for when people just coddle him during internet discussions. Just like,
Yeah, toughed it out.
yeah, he toughed it out, and also we got a really good showing from the true goat of the Sully, the best Monsters Inc. character.
Like, just like memes about Justin Herbert's whatever. I think we can finally put the rest here that Justin Herbert is always going to have to be a quarterback talked about with an asterisk. Not saying that in a good or negative way, but there's always going to be an asterisk with him because, by God, what does he have to do anymore? Because he's getting killed. Like, he got sacked 17 times. He's playing with a broken hand. And not to mention all that too, he's having to do it when his wide receivers are deciding to be like, today I want to cook gumbo and not focus on playing football. Welcome back, Trekker.
I'm sorry for popping
Hey,
down.
you missed the Eagles roast, by the way.
Yeah, Eagles suck.
Yeah, Eagles suck.
They're poopy butt, but they'll still
Yeah,
probably
you took their OC, haha.
Actually,
Who's
to be
really
perfectly
gonna win
honest,
the NFC at this
if-
point?
let's-
We'll just give
if
the
the Cow-
Panthers the NFC. Like the whole thing, I don't care. They're getting mushed by like the AFC this year. Doesn't matter.
Go ahead, Noah.
To be perfectly honest with you, if the Eagles are really lucky that the NFC East is as bad as they are, because honestly, I don't think this team should be in the playoff on.
Yeah.
This is a bad team.
This
Dallas
team
is
feels
late.
like they should be
That's all
6-7
they
right
got.
now.
Yeah,
I'm not joking about it.
Imagine if the Cowboys had a linebacker that was really
Look,
good.
if you had Brian,
Jones. Imagine if the fucking Giants didn't have Cam Skadbu and Malik Neighbors up for the season with injuries, and if they literally had a coach that could fucking finish games. Imagine if Jaden Daniels wasn't hurt. Yeah, the Eagles are easily injury merchants this year.
Yeah,
And the
they're
streak-
React bot
streak-
merchants.
Listen, the streak has to live in some form. It has to be forced. The streak has to live.
look, I will say this. If we fuse the Cowboys and Eagles to just be the Cowboys offense and the Eagles defense, I don't think anyone in the NFL beats that team, which is really funny. But the fact is, I think if you added like the Cowboys defense and the Eagles offense into one team, I think you have, bar none, the worst team to ever exist. Worse than the 17 Browns, worse than the 08 Lions. I think that team somehow finds a way to go 0-18 on a 17 game schedule.
Yeah, you're talking about like talk about a nightmare blunt rotation between Kevin Patullo and Matt Eberflus.
Ugh, I hate it anyways. I mean, in summary, Taegan does not like the Eagles. I don't know how I feel about Jalen Hurts right now. I think the Eagles as a team right now are philosophically flawed as an offensive unit. It's going to be another team that's going to have to take a really long look in the mirror in the offseason of what do they really want to become. Is it going to be, are you going to go with the same philosophical principles of we've won our championship, we don't have to practice that hard, we don't have to do this or that? Or are they going to be like, we want to keep going, we want to win more Super Bowl titles? And that's just something we're just going to have to ask. They have a lot of talent on that team, and we'll see what they want to do. As for the Chargers, well, you made less mistakes than the Eagles did, and that's sometimes what counts, champ.
Yeah, that
I
team's
got.
still gonna get killed in the playoffs. No, not really. Justin Herbert could just grit his way through the game.
We'll see. We're gonna see what happens. We got 4 more wonderful weeks of the NFL. Bowl season CFP is about to get away, and soon we're gonna have maybe the 4 nations again, non-Olympic edition. Because good lord, that's good. The NHL may not be playing at the Olympics this year.
We got the Winter Olympics coming up, which means it's time for one of my favorite sports to talk about: speed skating.
But yeah,
the Dutch have speed skating, man. Don't underestimate the Dutch. They literally skate everywhere, bro.
Before we sign off, because I assume that's what we're gonna be doing soon. Tomorrow, emergency podcast. That's what we're just gonna call it. With me, Ren, Jugger, and Nick, as we will be bidding farewell to the greatest pro wrestler of all time, John Cena, as his retirement match is tomorrow.
Oh my god, Mr. Bing Chilling himself.
Nick has already told me he's going to be crying and that he is going to miss his goat and that he'll be really sad when he's gone, and when he gets pinned, Nick is gonna cry and then hold on to Ren and ask him to cheer him up. He has told me this in confidentiality, and I am totally not talking about myself.
You got those sources from Dave Meltzer.
No, I got those sources from Bob Nightingale, apparently.
Actually, you got them from Dave Portnoy. Ugh. Brother, ugh.
Anyways.
Brother,
Army Navy game tomorrow. Nobody cares.
Yay.
Washington versus Boise. Too early for this shit, man. It's too
So,
early for
yeah.
a fucking bowl game, dude. I'm not happy. Whatever.
Tune in next week where I fuck a piece of cheese.
Yeah. Tune in next week to have feelings, and maybe I'll be dead. Who knows? I might die next week. You never know.
Yeah. Also, Merry Sickmas. Enjoy the next, hopefully, 11 days of videos. God knows that we're going to be dying.
Holy fuck, mine was the first one!
Well, technically we were going to have the stream be it, but yeah, congratulations. You were the first one this year. I'm going to have to bullshit a video this year.
Sicko, Mr. Lucas gave to me a bitch about the CFP.
And yeah, I bitched about the CFP. That's a fun video. I've had more clarity on my own in the CFP. I mean, we've already said about enough about the CFP. Anyway,
We fucking God.